Hello. Let me make sure. Yep. Microphone looks okay. Actually, I'm a little quiet, which is weird. I'm sitting up straight and everything. Well, whatever. It's fine. Welcome to Sorcery, or Steve Jackson's Sorcery. I did in fact get this series because of Germa. It's one of my favorite stream series he's done. I wanted to try it out for myself. It looks incredibly cool. For those of you who don't know, it is basically a choose your own adventure series. Let me try to center this a little bit more. There we go. This is the best I could do to capture it. There's no audio on it right now. But for some reason, when it was being captured by game capture, it simply just does not exist. Here is the game on game capture. It's just not there. It just doesn't. It's not there. So I have the audio being captured from the window, and I'm using window capture, but it's not going to show up if I full screen it. How Germa streamed this game? No idea. I could, in theory, do that. Yeah, let's try that. There's going to be some weird black bars, but that's fine. That's why I have the background. Make it look like they're real black bars. That should be everything. Let's go ahead and get right into it. Oh, I just realized game capture doesn't have an audio. This is awesome. Okay, now it should be good. I'm going to turn it down a little bit because I know it's a little loud. Here we go. And we don't have New Game Plus, it's fine. The music is so good. You have walked the wilds of Kakabad, through Kare and the spiteful backlands, all the way into Mampang. You have survived traps, thieves, servants, and vengeful gods, and now it is here. The Crown of Kings. It is said the crown was never forged, only found, by Shalana the Reformer, a lowly foot soldier who became emperor of the Eastern world. Such is the power of the crown. The air around it crackles with influence. Wait. The crown sits unguarded on a pedestal of light. After so many hardships, can it really be so simple? Or is this yet another deception? Sure enough, as soon as you think it, the image of the crown begins to flicker. You turn about to see something approaching. It's a trap. And startle yourself awake. You are alone, exhausted in the little hut in the outpost settlement. Your unimaginable journey has not even a single step begun. Well, looking at audio balance, maybe I'll turn it down just a little bit. Well, the music's over, so there's no way to test it now. Let's go. Inkle presents. Steve Jackson's Sorcery. I'm very excited for this. Just Shamatanti Hills. Oh Lord. Don't tell me we already have a bug. You know, I thought it was weird that the figures showed up. Not even the menu is showing up. Let me see if I can, like... Okay. Awesome. Try again. Why is Steam captured? Wow, I've been looking forward to this for a long time, and if it just straight up doesn't work, that's gonna suck. Okay. I have kings. Wait. Okay. Okay, here we go. Let's continue. I just cannot touch this window. This is just what the game's gonna need to look like, apparently. The Shamutanti Hills, there we go. And now we have it. Click your character to continue. Well, let's wait for the music. It's good music. Okay. It's still playing. This is quite the intro. There we go. It is sunrise. You dress breakfast on bread and goat's milk and collect the pack and sword from from beside your bed. Test the blade. You pause the test blade against your thumb. The blacksmith has done well. The edge is keen and draws a narrow line of blood. Outside the hut, you hear the outpost settlement stirring into life. Pray for luck. Taking a moment more, you close your eyes and raise a prayer to your spirit guide. This morning, it has the form of a panther. But what will it become once your journey truly begins? A great calm descends on you. Time to go. Time then to depart. You lift back the flap of the hut and step into the early morning sunshine. Okay, draw a path. There we go. Eyes follow you as you leave the hut and walk towards the great Shamutanti wall. The frontiers people of this tiny settlement are well aware of your mission. Greet them. You turn to them and bow. Some smile in reply, but are too afraid to approach. Others make gestures of protection. You are going beyond the wall, so they believe you to be cursed. A man is waiting in the path of the Kanapani Gate. Kantapani Gate, the final doorway between Analand and the wilds of Kakabad. You recognize the sergeant of the Sightmaster Warriors. He holds out his hand. Greetings, Sergeant. He touches his forehead with 2 fingers. You're almost ready, he says. I have a gift for you from the king. 24 gold pieces. It's all we can spare this time. He holds out a pouch. Take it. You accept the gift graciously. Thank you. You should buy some supplies before you pass the wall, the sergeant says, and you must collect your spellbook if you wish magic to aid you. Finally, you should wish to practice your swordsplay. I'll go one last round with you. He points with his staff towards the training ground. Okay, first let's buy rations. Trying to think. Take 2. You hand over your coins, and the man places 2 rations carefully into your pack. You must be sure you eat every day or you will suffer, the sergeant tells you, standing at your side. Eating more will give you extra strength, but it is not necessary. Interesting. Check the contents of your bag using the items button on the map. Like that. Oh damn, it's this music. Okay. Okay, next, collect my spellbook. One of the huts, set slightly back from the others, is decorated with glyphs and strange symbols. A terrible smell emanates from its doorway. This is the hut of the chief mage. You've been preparing your spellbook for days, reading star charts to work out which spells will be available to you in the different locations in the hills beyond. Go inside. You lift the flap, and go inside. The mage looks at you with haggard, sleepless eyes and presses the book into your hands. You understand how to use this? Tell me. Each spell is crafted through the alignment of 3 stars, he begins. Spell Zap, for example, is made by aligning Zarathustra, Aegis, and Peony. That is not important. What matters is that the spell is called, and what it does. Zap will give you control over lightning. Hot will create a fireball. Boff will create a force field around you. Shall I continue? Tell me more. Mage nods. The Law spell is formed with Lilith, Aegis, and Wax, and it will allow you to control the will of unintelligent creatures. The Wall spell is quite different and uses different stars. The order matters, you see. Wall creates an invisible barrier. You'll find the rest in the book, he adds, tapping the leather-bound volume. I want to know more. The mage looks surprised. Well, the Dop spell is useful for locks, Walk will shield you in battle, and Dumb will cause clumsiness. He scratches absently at his ear. Remember, some spells will cost you effort to use, but the ones that don't will not work without a focus, an item of some kind. You will need to read the book to know what. Okay. Finally, the training ground. You walk with the sergeant to the training ground, and he wraps the base of his staff in leather. Ready my sword. Begin, the sergeant says. We will practice the stances. First, defend yourself against me. Choose your attack power by dragging your character sideways. Defend, stay fully left. Okay. Like that. Okay. The Sightmaster is a powerful enemy. By defending, you'll receive the minimum damage from any attack he makes. The Sightmaster Sergeant defends himself as well. The round is stalemate. I will now defend myself, he says. Whatever attack you play will damage me, but a strong attack will use up more power. You should choose a weak attack. To select a weak attack, move your character a small distance to the right of the defending stand. Like that. Jab. You swing with a weak attack, rushing for the Sightmaster Sergeant who is defending. Good choice. A stronger attack would have wasted more of your power. The next attack will be weak, he declares. You'll be able to overpower me by playing a stronger attack, but be sure your attack is stronger. So let's go like 4. Cut. Okay. Make a medium attack, overpowering the Sightmaster Sergeant again, who tries a low, careful attack. Overpowering a weak attack is easy, so you do well to win without using too much power. Oh, okay. So don't go too far in. The enemy's stamina is at the top. Okay. If this reaches 0, you've won the fight. My next attack will be low, says the sergeant. You can overpower him by dragging your character to the right until you think you have the stronger attack. Alright, 5. Also, just in case, let me just make this bigger. That should be better. Okay, you perform a medium play, injuring the Sightmaster once more. He bows. You have finished me. Excellent. No stamina lost. Flawless fighting. You seem to remember the basics, the sergeant says breathlessly. Good. Another round? That should be enough. I don't think there's anything else. Okay. You shake your head. Very good, the sergeant agrees. But if you wish to about in earnest, then I warn you, I will not go easy on you. He indicates the wider yard where there is space for a true match. You head over to the yard to practice a bout of real fighting. The sergeant removes the cloth padding from the base of his staff. This time I will not tell you my intentions, he says. You'll have to read them for yourself. Be ready. Okay, let's defend. Oh, he went all in. Okay. The Sightmaster smiles at you, raises his staff in salute, and takes his position. You drop into a defensive crouch immediately. The Sightmaster is not to be trifled with. The Sightmaster Sergeant comes in with his strongest, most forceful attack. You escape mostly uninjured. Okay, so he doesn't have that much. I think it would be better for me to swing with a 2. Sideswipe. Oh my god, he was still able to. Huh, okay. In the next moment, the Sightmaster Sergeant leaps to your left and attacks. With his blade close, you're ready to parry. His own blow is one of medium force, but enough to knock you reeling. The impact catches you in the side. A mutter goes through the crowd. The king is truly weak to send such a champion. There's words spur you on. To stand once more and narrow your eyes at the Sightmaster. He shifts his grip to hold his staff more loosely. It seems he's preparing a simple jab. A chance to overpower him, perhaps. Okay, let's go for 5. Okay, yeah. Time to attack. You swing your sword fast and towards his chest. But his own move is fast and careful, and he is able to parry the very worst of the strike. You have hurt him. You are strong, he acknowledges. He feints left. Defend? Probably could have overpowered that. You drop yourself into a crouch. His light blow sails over your head. You are largely unhurt. His eyes follow your shoulders. He's probably about to defend himself. He realizes a strong hit would be wasteful now. Sideswipe. There you go. Acting quickly, you sting him with your blade, low and fast, saving your energy. I'll wear you out, you declare. His own weapon is raised in defense. He shows his teeth. You see his grip change on the heel of his staff as he readies himself to strike again. Let's defend. You whip up your defenses as he tries a deep bash, but you duck. Fast work, he grunts. His guard is coming up, conserving his energy so his next strike can be stronger. That sounds like he's defending? Yeah. Okay. In that case, I'm going to defend. Leaping into action, you spike forwards with your sword, mean and vicious. His staff is lifted to protect himself. He shows his teeth. The Sightmaster shakes his head. Not bad, he grunts, clearly weakening. Oh, he's defending. You ready yourself to block, and he hangs back and watches you return. You see his arm grow tense. He's ready for a strong attack. Okay, now I definitely want to. You hold firm and keep up your defense, and he powers forward with a cry. It only tires him out. You escape mostly unharmed. He watches your footwork closely. You hear observers in the gathered crowd murmuring expectation. But do they expect a violent blow from him or from you? Last time you went all in, he followed it up immediately with a different attack of lower power, but still a decent amount. I'm going to swing with 7. Oh, he's defending. Feinting left, you rush forward with a deep, heavy slash. But the impact clangs against his defending staff and you only lay a minor wound. He shows his teeth. His breath begins to heave. He's struggling to stay upright. His eyes narrow in preparation for a great effort. Let's defend. You duck down into a crouch as he attempts a strong stroke. Well done, he grumbles, panting from wasted effort. A thin grim expression crosses his face. Let's go for 6. There we go. Time to attack. You sweep your sword across his body with powerful force. It is enough to finish him. The Sightmaster throws down his staff. You have me, he declares with a grin. 7 stamina lost. Painful. I could try again. I don't know if it's worth it. I don't think you get anything extra for doing especially well, other than just not losing as much health. Now, I did lose 7 health, so maybe I can try again. Let's see. Okay, you have to be ready for yourself. Let's defend. It's a 3.9. Escape mostly uninjured. Go for an 8. Okay, there we go. Time to attack. You rush forward with a deep, heavy slash, overwhelming his own staff swing. You catch him deep in the side. His tunic reddens. Okay, probably want to defend this time. Yeah, I don't have much power. I guess you can't see how much power he has, so you kind of have to read it. Go for just a 1. Let's go all in. Yeah, there we go. Relentlessly, you cut and thrust, keeping him pinned. You sweep your sword across his body with powerful force. It is enough to finish him. The Sightmaster throws down his staff. 2 stamina lost. Killed. Swordplay. There we go. The sergeant is gasping for breath. He bows to you once more. Very good, he nods, though you will need to protect yourself better out there. As he talks, a nearby healer hurries over with a salve, and your health and the sergeant's is quickly restored. Okay, good. So it didn't really matter that much. Okay, you reach the foot of the mighty gate. It is sealed. The sergeant places one hand on the wood. The gate has been locked for some time to deter raiders, he tells you. But you'll have no difficulty. The stars in this place allow the Doff spell to be crafted, and he stands back. Okay. So the spell casting is pretty cool. I just need to spell it. So D O E. It uses 1 stamina. So since I don't have a focus or something to use to cast the spell, instead it casts stamina, which I would be using in combat. You weave the spell. One by one, the great tumblers of the door begin to creak and groan. Then the hinges turn with a noise like hail on canvas roof. The gates have not opened since our last champion was lost, the sergeant says. I wish you more luck than he. Perhaps you will even meet him on your travels. I fear he is dead. I'm sure he is dead. The Sightmaster nods, peering at something on the horizon. I believe he is returning, but transformed. I hope you do not meet the same fate. He stands back from you. Together you step into the shadow of the wall. One last word, he declares. When you have the crown, find the highest point you can find. You'll be watching. From where? From here. The Sightmaster warriors are selected from birth for their incredible powers of telescopic vision. You cannot help but wonder how far you can see. Tell me what lies ahead. The path leads to the Cantipani, a settlement of traders. Though most are rogues and thieves. You should be there before the sun has reached its peak. From there, 3 routes lead on to Cristatanti, but no single route is safe. Kakabad is a land of devils. And beyond Gare? I cannot see so far, he says. But once you have crossed the city port of traps, you will enter the backlands. They say that the day and night there are controlled by forces other than the sun. And from Kare too, your progress will be watched. It's time to go. Striding away, you pass through the gate. The faces of the folk watching your departure reveal the hopes that rest on you and your quest. The early morning air is crisp, and the rising sun paints the slopes in shades of peaceful beauty, concealing the evil that lies ahead. Okay. The path winds through slopes of wild scrubland. The countryside is deserted, and the eerie silence is broken only by the cawing of the occasional crow. There's a spell for hearing what they say, but you do not have the equipment it requires. The birds appear to pause in the air to examine you as they pass, and make you uneasy, as if you were an intruder in their presence. Keep walking. Barely an hour beyond the wall, and the air begins to grow foul. The Shamatanti hills are infested with the pestilence of the backlands. It saps the energy from your body, leaving you feeling nauseous and weak. Cover your mouth. You cover your mouth with your neck scarf, but it does no good. They warned you of this. You will grow accustomed to it longer you are out here, but for the moment you must be very careful. Your maximum stamina just decreased. You can see your stamina at the top of the screen. If this reaches 0, you'll be too tired to carry on. Stamina can be regained by up to the maximum by eating and resting. Go travel country or a low rise? I feel like I want to go a low rise. Another hour passes and you crest a small hillock, from the top of which you can see the path continuing downwards into a small settlement of huts. This must be Cantapani. Look at the village. From this distance, it's hard to make out much about the town, except that it must be desperately poor. The fields on either side are brown with caked mud, and the few pinned animals are thin and wizened, like thirsty vines. No wonder the Sightmaster warriors don't trouble themselves to protect this place. There is nothing here to protect. Go into the village. Of course, if you were scared of a town like Cantapani, then you could not hope to survive in Kakavad proper. You follow the path down into town. The round huts are made of a hard-baked bright clay, and the roofs are thinly thatched. As you pass, eyes appear at dark doorways, tracking your every move. For a moment, it seems like this will be all you see of the town's inhabitants. But then a villager appears from one of the dwellings and blocks your path. Look at him. He's 5 feet tall. They cannot grow much taller out here in this poisonous air. His thick-set arms and thighs and his half-clothed in tattered breeches. His eyes are wild, and his long red hair and beard stand out from his face in a wiry tangle. Halt, stranger, he commands. What business have you in Cantapani? I want to buy equipment. He grunts. You can see that he is pleased. With a motion, he encourages you to follow, taking you through the village to a large hut. Maybe they have, supplies for spells? Inside, you find that the building is a storage house. A quartermaster, somewhat plumper than your guide, is seated at the table. Wait to be introduced. This man is here to do business, the villager explains. Get out of here, flea, the fat man replies, getting up from his seat to hustle the villager out. Then he turns to you with a smile and beckons you to sit. Greetings, stranger, he purrs. Shall I show you my wares? Do you treat your customers so roughly? You ask, unimpressed by his attitude towards the poor villager. He'll get his commission, the fat man replies gruffly, if you buy. And show me what you have. The man wags a finger. Wait there. He disappears for a moment into the side room. Also, my god changed twice. From the scorpion to the baboon. Clicking it doesn't seem to do anything, though. You can't see the bottom option that well. That's unfortunate. There. Because, yeah, it'd be good for you guys to be able to read that. Whoops. Search the room. While the man is out of sight, you quickly rifle the nearby shelves, but find nothing but a small vial of potion. I'm gonna leave it. I feel like he's gonna notice. Leave it where there it is. There's no way of telling what the vial might contain after all. The merchant returns carrying a large box. For you, he declares, moving his hand as he speaks. You've come to the right place. This collection, the very best. Our most strange and interesting artifacts. Ahem, collected from other travelers who have come this way. He begins to lay the items out in front of you, treating each with great care. You have 20 gold pieces to spend, but is there anything here you'd want to buy? A musical pipe? You pick a bamboo pipe off the table, carved with a split reed and 6 finger holes. What use is this? Are you selling off your infant toys? 3 gold pieces, the merchant says. I can't promise you that it has any magic, but it may well cheer you up at night. Play it. You place the pipe into your lips and blow a few clear, sweet notes. The merchant nods. It is a well-made thing, don't you agree? I don't know if the pipe's gonna come in handy later on. Let's see. Do you have anything that uses pipes or music? Zap, hot, buff, all, law, and done. Dumb. Big and walk. Oh, it says requires. Requires beeswax. Ooh, bamboo flute. Jig. Here we go. When cast, the recipient will get an uncontrollable urge to dance. The caster can make any creature dance merry jigs by playing a small bamboo flute, thereby exhausting a creature or providing time to escape. That seems pretty useful. What else is there? Giant's tooth, vial of glue, medicinal potion. Of course, OBS is disconnecting. Awesome. Okay, pebble, sand, fog. That's scary. Skull cap, nose plugs, black face mask, tool of gold, gold-backed mirror, firewater, stone dust, yellow powder, gale horn, oak sapling grass. There's a lot of these. Well, I will think about this, and we'll be right back on a brief ad break. Okay, we're back. Let's go back to the shop. I'll buy the pipe. You hand 3 gold pieces and he thanks you with a nod. You place the pipe in your bag. Please, the merchant says, something else today? You still have 17 gold pieces to spend. A weapon, a leather bag, a jewel. What's the bag? Okay. You lift the bag from the table, and its contents rattle. Teeth, the merchant replies, showing his own a little. Finest creature teeth. Only 3 gold pieces, too. What kinds of creatures? Goblins, giants, or mole rats? All sorts, the merchant replies. I can't tell you myself. I'm no expert, but there's 10 or 12 in there for 3 gold pieces. Well, it's a good price. That is a good price. I won't buy teeth without seeing them. You won't buy them, the merchant replies, taking the bag back and placing it under his counter. Unless... it is a good price. Very good, the merchant says, patting his money pouch. You are a man of good judgment. Probably not. I may have just gotten scammed, but if it's 10 or 12 goblin or giant's teeth, probably not giant's teeth, but if they're goblin teeth, that'll be useful. If it's human teeth, then, well. What's the jewel? You reach for the large jewel in the center of the box, but he stays your hand. Please, he says. It is too valuable to allow you to handle 10 gold pieces. Look closer at the jewel. You lower your eye to the table to peer more closely at the gem. It is clear, glassy, and its surface seems to be slightly sweating. Dragon's tears, the merchant says. You've never heard of such a thing before. Okay, there's the sun jewel. I think it would be more clear if it was a sun jewel. Bracelet of bone. Green hair wig. Crystal orb, green ring. Holy water, and Zed. Yeah, I don't think this is used for anything. Yeah, probably not. I'll pass. I'm good. No, I will not take it. The merchant nods. Very wise, I'm sure, he replies, and he puts the jewel carefully away. Please, the merchant waves. Keep looking. Take your time. Okay, we have 14 gold. A weapon? What weapons do you have? The merchant looks at you carefully, sizing up what kind of customer you are. The kind to place a newly bought dagger against his neck, or the kind to tip him for the quality of the blade. But he must see that your honor shining through as he wags a finger once more, and then collects an axe and a fine broadsword from another corner of the shop. These are both treasures, as well as deadly weapons of war. I'm sure you will agree. I think I currently have a sword, right? Weapon. Yeah, it's just a regular sword. The broadsword might be an upgrade. You lift the broadsword. It has a ready weight, and the cutting edge is sharp. It's clearly been honed by a master craftsman. 7 gold pieces. That's half the money I have left, but if it's a better weapon, I think I'm not trading in my other weapon either. I'll just have an extra sword. Only 7 gold pieces. Too much? Not the blade for me. The merchant nods, then begins to pack his box away once more. Oh wait, no! I'm going to save something for my next customer, he replies with a smile. Perhaps you'll return this way, and it will be you. You get to your feet and take your leave of the merchant. I was hoping to at least look at the axe. Just outside the doorway in the sunshine, you pause to examine what you have acquired. Look at the bag of teeth. Ooh! You open the drawstring bag and sift through its contents. It is quite an assortment. There are 3 teeth from an ape, 4 from a goblin, and 2 from a snatic, a large molar of a giant that is the size of a ripe plum. Okay, that's pretty good. I can use. I can definitely use the goblin and the giant teeth. I don't know about the snatic and the ape. You head out of Cantapani and along the path into Shamatanti Hills. I think that's fine. I think not having the broadsword is not going to be the worst. Also, I don't want to use all of my money. Passing the outlying huts, you feel strangely uneasy. Hissing from within and sly faces disappearing from doorways make you feel decidedly unwelcome. Then at the edge of town, you pass a large boulder, and at once, 2 rough-cut villagers spring out with swords drawn. Bandits. 2 against 1, the first declares. You are lost, calls the other. So hand over your things, come on. Reason with them. I don't want any trouble. The first bandit edges forwards, a sword sticking into tickling your chest. Running you through? No trouble at all. The pack. Defend myself. Throw yourself to full height. You have mistaken me for someone else, you declare. I would like to give you a moment to reconsider because I will kill you if I have to. The bandits growl and advance on you, 1 on either hand. Fight. Okay, so not a lot of stamina. The first bandit closes on you, cackling and grinning. Time to put this creature in its place. I can easily overpower him with at least a 7. There we go. You should have made things easier for yourself, the bandit goads, and launches forward with his sword. You go straight for his throat, knocking him back hard. The smile on his face splits into a cry. The bandit stops and coughs blood onto the earth. He narrows his eyes in readiness. 5. Oh! You cut the imbecile no slack. You aim a savage blow at his heart. The bandit gasps his last as you run him through. No stamina lost. Flawless fighting. The second bandit takes one look at his dead colleague and turns and makes a run for it. Let him go. Let him go. You will tell others not to interfere with Analanders in future. Turning back to the path, you begin walking once more. About half an hour away, the way becomes an uphill incline. Okay, I understand. Leaving Cantapani behind marks the true start of the wilderness. Beyond that tiny outpost are scattered homesteads and Kare, a thriving city port, but all are touched by cruelty, isolation, and fear. The backlands and the long shadow cast by Mampang Forest darken everything. And with the crown gone, with the crown stolen, things can only grow worse. In the long years since Solana the Reformer founded the Alliance, the crown has been passed from kingdom to kingdom every 4 years, assuring each one has its turn to lead. But no more. Ruddlestone, Lindeland, Galantaria, and Bryce have all enjoyed its power, but not Analand. But when the crown came to Analand, it was stolen by Birdman from Zaman and carried off to Mampang. With the crown, the Archmage will be unstoppably powerful. There's no chance of sending an army against him. A military force would not survive the journey. So here you are, a lone hero, walking the long path to Mampang alone. 5 minutes later, you reach a fork in the road. The sergeant, for all his hindsight, hadn't mentioned this. The road splits around the base of a gigantic tree, but does not rejoin on the other side. The left path winds down into a valley, and the right rises up a slope towards the first thick forest of the hills. Okay. Hmm. There's mines. There seems to be a few villages this way. Question is, do I want to go into the forest? Um, well, okay, look right. It's hard to see much further uphill. The forest is sudden and thick, and the power path narrow. It may be hard to going in that direction, but the hills will involve a lot of climbing. Eventually, you may get a decent view of the next leg from the top of the ridge. Look left. You pause to consider the lower route. There's a river there, and the path follows the left bank. There's a safer route, secluded and protected. The curve of the landscape would mean you were almost backtracking. You're about to make your choice when you hear a faint cry from somewhere close at hand. Look around. You look around and finally up into the branches of the tree. A pair of wizened, calloused feet are hanging down from over your head. About to drop on you, perhaps? Who's there? The voice cries again, a little more boldly this time. Up here! Help! Help! I can't get down! It's the voice of a feeble, wiry old man. Stepping back a little, you can see him clearly, thick as sticks and dressed in dirt rags. Okay. What are you hiding from? How the old man got up the tree is a puzzle. He must have been escaping someone fearsome to climb so high. What are you hiding from? You cry. Damned elves, he replies. I was traveling from Dumfus to the outpost settlement of Analand, but I were waylaid by elvins, robbed me blind, but all but took me eyes. I left him up the tree. I kept getting older, you see. We all do, but some worse than others. Climbed up, but now I'm too old to get down. What? How does that make sense? Help him out of the tree. Swinging yourself onto the lowest branch of the tree, you reach up to and grab the old man by the waist. He's light as a leaf, and within a moment you have lifted him to the ground. Thanks, Rat, he remarks, brushing himself down and almost knocking himself over in the process. I'm starting to get a bit, perturbed, but I'm on the safe now. He seems remarkably confident, considering that the slightest stumble might break him into bits. What will you do now? Keep going for Analand, he says. That's where I set off from. While back now. That's where I set off from while back now. You wouldn't believe the story if I told you. Suffice to say, though, if I know my eyes and from my eyes, you're heading out to Mampang, and you'd be smarter than I was. And here. Presses a page into your hand. It is a page torn from a spell book. Might be of some use to you. I just found it. Just found it, mine, and don't go asking how. It's no good to me anymore. Look at the page. You look at the page suspiciously. It seems to be half of a spell. C.A. It might have been used for pest repulsion, but is unworkable in its current state. I'll keep it. You take the page and thank him. The man falls quiet and squats down on the ground. With his jabbering done, you hear a buzzing sound from high up in the tree. A beehive. If I could get beeswax. This might be a bad idea. It probably is a bad idea. But climb up and investigate. Leaving the old man sighing with gratitude on the ground, you climb up through the branches of a tall tree. The beehive hangs like a ripe fruit from the highest branch. A huge number of bees dance in and out in a swarm. What can I use? You get your balance enough to free your hands for a spell. Cast a spell. Yes. You cast a spell concentrating on the swarm that surrounds the beehive. You feel your mind taking control of theirs. Several hundred small consciousnesses falling under your will. You lead them like a general directing an army away from the hive, allowing you to clamber up to relieve them of a succulent honeycomb and a nice ball of beeswax. That's a nice trick, the old man remarks. You stash your finds in your pack. The light is fading. It's time to move. Oh, the man cries suddenly. You want to hear me riddle? I heard it from the Elvins. Hear him out? You gesture with a hand for him to speak. See him though he sees you not. A singing beast in a box not left. The garter a key it is his lot. The gull a witch of luck bereft. You think him, you nod, then you turn your attention to the path ahead. A stinging beast in a box not left. That sounds like a bee, but... See him though he sees you not. A stinging beast in a box not left. The garter key it is his lot. The gull a witch of luck bereft. I don't know if I can figure that out right now, but I can use Raz. Let's check our items. Okay, yeah, those can't be used. And my treasure, 14 gold pieces. Yep. Oh, is it a ration? Honeycomb. Okay. Nice. Let's go the high path. The high route seems to be the most secure. In a valley, you can be easily observed from above and led astray, but out in the hills, you can go whichever way you choose. Of course, when night falls, it may be cold and exposed up on the slopes, but no matter. This journey was never destined to be easy. You begin the climb, letting the old man's jabbering fade quickly away. The path winds upwards into the hills and into the cover of a wood. The afternoon sun glints through the trees and plays tricks on your eyes. Every so often, you catch a glimpse of some strange-shaped animal or other watching you, only to find that it is the silhouette of branches and leaves caught at an odd angle. After an hour's walk, you are starting to feel hungry. Stop and eat. You clamber to the top of a low stone dolmen, then sit and pull out the sugary honeycomb and eat, while admiring the view down the hillside through a break in the trees. You feel better for your rest. Time to move on. You stand and put on your pack, on which you had been sitting to prevent any creature from getting in, or any of your things falling out. Then you return to the path. The climb continues with the path twisting this way and that. The air grows cold, and the sun flickers on the horizon, then sets, making it hard to see your way. The moon is full. When twilight is done, it will be bright once more. Keep walking. Ooh, got some stamina back. You are young and strong, and there will be plenty of nights later in your journey where you can catch up on sleep in a real bed. Reasoning that to sleep on hard earth would be almost as tiring as to walk. You walk. You will suffer for it physically, of course. The stars come out one by one above you, writing out the names of the spirits, including your own, the ape. It will continue on your weary way. As you walk, you think of the crown. It calls you onwards already, even though you have never seen it. It is as if it knows your name and it's waiting for you, deep in the fortress of Manpeng. But does it summon you to rescue it and restore the balance of power to the Fimfrey Alliance? Or does it summon you to your death and destruction to place a seal on the power of the Archmage? The next morning. The second day of your journey begins when the morning cool. You feel the presence of your spirit, the ape, close nearby. Its form has changed since you left Analand, just as you have changed, but it is still walking beside you. In the temple, they taught you that a prayer to your spirit could heal disease, lift curses, even save you from certain death, but the spirits are not generous and decline to help often. You can ask for a spirit's aid using the pray button. Walk on. You can feel yourself getting accustomed to the fetid air of these hills. You can now ascend several hundred feet and expect to make excellent progress by the end of the day. Hello, Rat. Welcome home. Good luck on your laundry. I hope laundry goes well. Or something. Thank you for being here. Oops. As you crest the brow of the hill, you see something that makes you stop in your tracks. To your left is clearing, and in the clearing are several poles planted firmly in the ground. And atop each pole is a head. Look at the heads. What kind of heads? The heads are of all kinds and ages. Some are recently fixed, while others have been decaying, and some are nothing but skulls and hair. There are some human heads, goblin heads, and one or two of creatures you do not recognize. All have sewn-up eyes and mouths. A large axe painted on a rock nearby is obviously intended as a warning not to venture any further. Ahead of the road forks, left and right, and ahead the road forks, left and right. You cannot be sure which path you are warned not to take. The right-hand path continues to climb, and the left-hand path winds down the side of the hill. I feel like I shouldn't go near the cave. I feel like the mines might be what I'm not supposed to go towards. Pray for healing. The ape, a strong beast, intelligent and prudent, who takes great pride in acting faithfully, to be depended upon. A prayer to your spirit will heal you, but after a prayer, your spirit will not hear you again for some time. Oh, thank you, Rat. I appreciate it. I feel like asking for healing right now would be wasteful. I mean, I'm only missing 3 health. Let's take the left path. Make your way down a steep wooded slope. After an hour, you hear the gurgling of a stream, and then quite suddenly emerge from the trees to the edge of a fast-flowing river. Fording would be impossible, but luckily, someone has built a bridge. Test it. The bridge is made from 2 stout ropes with thinner strings hanging from them and boards tied to the strings. You test the ropes and notice that the left one feels weak. That doesn't mean the bridge is necessarily a trap, although it might be. But it does mean that if the bridge collapses, the left side will fall away first. Now cross. You begin to make your way carefully across, but at the halfway mark, the boards start to creak and come loose. And then one of the ropes holding the bridge, the bridge up, unlashes itself completely, and you're plunging into the water. The orangutan of health. What is that emote? Oh. I don't know. I feel like a good race because I knew ahead of time this might happen. Make a plunge for the far bank, pounding across the boards as they tumble and plunge into the rapid water. At the last minute, the bridge dissolves and you must jump. Jump to the right. You leap right, but as the bridge twists and breaks, a board rises up on that side and to catch you in the midair, winding you. You grab one of the ropes to help you slow your fall, and half scrambling, half tumbling, you're dumped into the water without too much injury. Oh, should I have jumped to the left? I hadn't thought about the the board like swinging to hit me. You are in one piece, but your food is soaked and ruined, and there's no turning back. Something in the bushes nearby. Something moves in the bushes nearby. Investigate. Who's there, you demand, as you approach the bush, peering either side to spot if the figure tries to run. But when you get there, you find nothing. I don't know if this is worth it. Beat the bush. Beat the bush with your sword and find nothing, except for one thing, a hollow tube of bamboo, with touches of colored ink at one end, that looks remarkably like a blowpipe. It's cracked and must have been discarded by as worthless by its owner, but this might mean that whoever put the heads on those poles is nearby. You toss the pipe away, but you had best be on your guard. Oh, Jesus, okay. That looks like a village. Let's follow the path. I need food. As you descend, you pass a clearing which would make a good place to rest, but without more provisions, you need to reach a town as soon as possible. The place is too open anyway. It isn't safe. You walk through the long grass. Continue along the trail. The undergrowth around you gets thicker, with dense shrubs that snag your legs as you pass. Suddenly, there is a cracking sound beneath your feet. Branches? Something else. Jump clear. You leap ahead just in time as a pitfall caves in beneath you. You look back to see a gaping hole which you would have fallen into. Look at the pit. You pause to look at the pit. It's 3 meters deep, quite a trap. But then again, so is the one moving underneath your feet right now. As gentle as it clicks. Duck? You drop near it. Oh god, I died. You drop to your knees as 3 saplings snap upright in front of you. Each is fitted with sharpened stakes. I guess it was moving beneath you. That was not the right move. You have but a moment to see where they are red with dried blood before a middle spike connects directly with your neck. Your head will soon join the others on the post you have just passed. What's my fate? Your head will be put on a spike. Your adventure is at an end. There we go. No decision is permanent. Click the rewind button at any time if you want to scroll back and try a different path. Okay. By a stream. Let's try that one. Test it. So we know that the left side will fall first. Race for the other bank. And we'll jump to the left this time. There we go. You leap left and manage to clear the bridge before it tumbles into the river. The boards and ropes are washed away by the torrent. You're a little scratched and bruised, but nothing serious. Still, there's no turning back. You get to your feet. Investigate the bush. Beat the bushes. Toss the pipe away. Alright, let's try again with the path. No. Keep going. I don't like staying still here. Alright. Jump clear. Probably keep moving. There's the gentlest of clicks. Step back. You step back, narrowly avoiding the impact of 3 saplings, each set with sharpened stakes, snapped upright in front of you. Of course, in stepping back, you fall into the pit behind. You drop some 3 meters into the ground, and everything goes black. Ugh. Of course. You slowly regain consciousness. There's a stinging pain in your hands and your feet, and something is wrong with your head. Close nearby, some kind of crazed parrot is making an irritating noise. Check my head for injuries. Move to check your head for bruises, but you find your arms cannot move. The numbness in your hands is the loss of blood. You are tied and bound. Your captors, seeing you struggle, race over to surround you. One prods you with the base of his spear. Judging by what they wear around their necks, they are headhunters. Talk to them. Greetings, you whisper. I mean you no harm. Men around you leap and jabber, but there's no reason to believe they understand your words. Cast a spell. What is K? K-I-D? Requires a bracelet of bone. Can I? Oh. Okay. You attempt to weave a spell, but with your hands bound behind your back, you cannot cast it. You will suffer the effects of casting. Oh boy. Hello, Raku. Welcome. Hope you're doing well today. Collapse back onto the floor of the hut. There's nothing you can do but wait. Time passes. An hour or so passes, during which you are left alone. Then suddenly, the little men return and lift you up onto their shoulders. You are carried swiftly into the center of the headhunter's settlement. There is much commotion, and several natives rush off to fill a large pot with water to be heated over a fire. My throat hurts. I could barely talk this morning. Oh no, Raku, I'm sorry. I hope you got some lozenges and good honey tea. Very worth it though. Last night was a riot. I had a lot of fun. Thank you for having me. Meanwhile, you are thrown into a bamboo cage, hands still tied and guarded by a strong warrior. Still working through clips. Oh, I look forward to it. Pray for aid. You concentrate, clear your mind, and level your soul, and lift a prayer to your spirit, the ape. Your spirit offers freedom, escape, and aid for wanderers. You require all three, but nothing happens. Try again, but it seems your spirit has abandoned you. Perhaps Santaland is lost after all. You try to maintain your calm and wait, watching for an opportunity. But one does not come. For an hour or so, a crowd of headhunters has gathered outside of your cage. They singing and dancing and sharing wine. The water in the pot is bubbling loudly. Two of the headhunters approach your cage. Are you ready to spring on them? I don't know if I can take them. You prepare to spring on them as soon as they unlock the cage. One of the hunters opens the door and you hurl your weight forward and knock the small man down. But the headhunters who see your attack, you're now beset by not 2 but 20 headhunters. They grab your legs and arms. You're powerless once more. All is lost. When it happens, dark clouds rumble in a low over the camp. When they are directly overhead, they release a torrential downpour, dousing the fire. The headhunters run around trying to cover the flame, and for a moment they drop you. The water collecting on the floor loosens your bindings. The rain is causing confusion in the village. Oh, I guess the ape followed through for me. The headhunters are running for shelter. Get my belongings first. You dive quickly back into the hut which you were brought. All of your belongings are still here. You grab them and race back out of the hut. A headhunter blocks your path. Knock him down. Knock him down with all your force and you go sprawling. Then you are clear of the hut. You run and keep running until you are deep in the woods, but also hopelessly lost. Still, you have your own hide. And you are now on your own. You have called on your spirit's help, and while the powers above are giving, they are not generous. They will not help you again for some time. I mean, I feel like I would have died if I didn't do that. You come to a stop in a field of long grass almost over your head. But which way will you go? There's no time to get your bearings. Uphill or downhill? Uphill. You race around the curve of the hill, crashing through a thin line of trees, until you are quite sure you have not been followed. But where are you now? Oh my goodness. Okay. It's quite a distance. A path climbs again until a low hill, covered with thick bushes and shrubs that snag at your clothing. Halfway up, you hear a sound, twigs breaking. Freeze. Oh, okay. You freeze as a large creature the size of a bear emerges directly in front of you. It has black and white fur and a long bushy tail that trails out behind. It growls menacingly. Try to edge around it? Perhaps if you're careful, you can slip around it. It's around to the right. Try to slip towards the bushes, but clearly something about you, or whatever you carry, attracts the beast. Oh, it must be the honey. Attracts the beast's attention. As it sniffs the air and it moves towards you, its sharp teeth on display. You will not be able to avoid confrontation. The creature is a skunk bear, and when it raises its tail, it releases a nauseating odor. The smell that hangs around it is terrible. Cast a spell. Well. Can I not... Wait, where's my bamboo flute? Jig. Can't cast Jig? That's unfortunate. What is law? I don't know if that would be. What is it? S. S. 6? Clone the caster. I could confuse it. We're about to go on an ad break, so I'll save it for that. We'll be right back. Okay, we're back. So we need to figure out a spell. Cloning myself seems fine. I will still have another 8 stamina. Let's try that. You cast a spell and in a flash, 5 replicas of yourself appear in front of the creature. The confused beast lurches forward to attack one of them, and you use the opportunity to escape, leaving your magic clones to fight your battle for you. The path leads down through another valley and back up another hill. 2 hours pass. Okay, that seems to be the right move. This looks encouraging. The sun is now just past its zenith, and everywhere a dusty heat rises from the baked earth. You begin to think about where you will stay for the night. Another night of walking will leave you exhausted. But then you see a small village set into the hill. Look at it. Smoke rises from the stacks. The houses are well set, with stone at their bases and thatched roofs of grasses and thick leaves. There is unusually more than just the one street running through the center of the town. It is as though this place, once rich, had its heart scooped away. Litter surrounds the buildings, and on the edge of the village are rows and rows of empty, abandoned houses. And continue your slow trudge along the path. I feel like let's enter the village. I need shelter. You walk into the village. Young hill dwellers pass you and stare at your strange clothes. You nod back respectfully. Look at the people. Their own attire is rough by comparison to your gear. They wear their hair long but piled up on their heads. These people are ghastly poor. The village is like a ghost town here on the knife edge of the backlands. Talk in an all house. Walking down the single road, you quickly find a hut with its front a covering pulled wide open, and the smell of brewed beer coming from inside. You go in. Several hill dwellers are here talking gruffly. When you enter, they watch you with understandable caution. The owner of the hut comes over to you. Welcome to Christatanti, he declares. What do you want? Greet the owner. An evening dress and a drink to wet my throat, you reply. Ale is 1 gold piece, he answers. Please sit. Sit with the oldest man. You turn your attention to the oldest man at the table. Whatever face he once had is lost in a labyrinth of wrinkles, and his skin is the color of tanned hide from a lifetime of beating sun. Greetings, old man. He raises his mug in salute. Stranger. His face is gravelly, like the dusty dirt that lines the streets of his town. Where are you from? You smell of vegetable stock. I come from Analand. He nods. Not many has crossed through the Cantopani gate. In either direction, if you know what I'm saying. I understand you. He grins and picks his teeth with a fingernail. They say there's a war coming. Something to do with the crown. I seek that crown. Is that so? Replies the old man. Well, from what I hear, you've got a long journey to go find it. I hear the birdman took it all the way to Mampang. You're very well informed. The man shrugs. I would be if I knew there were backlands where in the backlands Mampang was. I don't know much outside of my town's hilltop. You sip your beer. The old man exchanges glances with the younger man sitting opposite. Ask the old man about the area. Can you tell me something about this region? Christazanti, certainly. I'll tell you that around here we're always glad to help out strangers. I think you're a crazy old man. I don't think that's the right move. Tell me what lies beyond this town. Beyond Christazanti there are 2 paths, he says. One takes you past Ariana's home, and you will need your wits about you if she's there. The other leads up into the hills and Liaki, domain of the Great Ones. Either way you choose, I wish you the luck of Sindla on your journey. I thank you. The man nods. That lot of good my good wishes will do you if someone tries to split your skull, he observes. The crowd in the inn is starting to thin out. You finish your beer in a single draught and get to your feet. You make to leave the inn. The owner stops you, holding out his hand. Pay him a gold piece. And step out into the street. Look this way and that, trying to decide what to do next. When you realize the old man has joined you once more, he grabs your shoulder and presses a fruit into your hand. Bamba, he declares through fermented breath. I grew them myself, good for the stomach. He pats your belly and walks away, swaying slightly. Look at the fruit. You turn the old man's gift over in your hands. It is a thick, rinded fruit that keeps well and will be highly nourishing when you decide to eat it. Its only drawback is its incredible weight. It's not evening and time to sleep. Interesting. So far people have been friendly. I don't see a reason not to sleep in the inn. You stop a passerby and ask for the inn, and they lead you there directly. The woman who runs the place stands in the doorway with her arms folded. Are you from the king? She demands. I'm on a mission from the king. Taxes? She replies quickly. No. The woman narrows her eyes at you. This is a guest house, the best in Christatanti. Only guests stay. And any guest of mine knows it costs him 3 gold pieces to host a man overnight, and 2 to feed him. But it's all between friends. How hungry am I? I have 13 gold. I think I can do both. Let's do both. I need to eat first. Yeah, there we go. I think that was worth it. Food is just being served. The woman steps aside, and you go inside and sit down. A few minutes later, her husband appears with a steaming pot of skunk bear stew. As you eat, you can't help but remember the terrible-smelling beast dead on the path. The thought makes you gag. You wolf it down all the same and leave your coins on the table. You want a room as well. Thank you. There we go. Now we're back up to maximum. The woman shows you the way upstairs to a room. There are 3 beds. There are 3 other guests already staying and asleep. So you set up quickly. The bed is not clean, but you are comfortable, and after the long day and all its narrow escapes, you are grateful beyond measure for the rest. Sleep. I'm back up to 14. Your dreams are vivid once again. You're somewhere hot, as if swimming in a pool of lava. The smell of herbs and cumin is thick in your nostrils, and all around you, hungry mouths are crying out to be fed. Meanwhile, a tall black creature strides towards you, wreathed in a foul-smelling smoke. In the distance, a deep voice is booming with laughter. The long, cruel fingers of one hand are cruel towards the metal frame of a crown, and with the other, he beckons you forward as if into a trap. Beyond Cristanti. You wake early and sit for a moment, in no great hurry to leave the village. This is now the third day of your journey, and the muscles in your legs are feeling lean and strong from so much walking. You spend a short while enjoying the peace, then unhurriedly collect your possessions and set off along the path. Cristanti is surrounded by several miles of fields. It sits in a well-protected ring of hills, and is close enough to the river to be reasonably prosperous. As you follow the path between lines of sun-baked crops, you come to a fork in the road. The right-hand way leads past a set of buildings, while the left heads directly off into distant or deep woodland. We need to be heading north, but honestly, it's going to be shorter if we go this way. Let's go through the woods. The journey is too important to slow down talking to the locals. You must pass unseen, so you disappear into the jungle of tall trees. For a while, the sun is feverish, and then you are between the trees once more and everything becomes cool and still. You walk for several hours uneventfully. This is land that was never settled or explored, and very few travel this way. In places, bushes and shrubs have grown over into the path. Move cautiously. You pick your way carefully forward, moving slowly but silently between the trees. If there are any beasts nearby, you should be able to wring their necks without them hearing you approach. Then you come up to a fork in the road, still deep in the forest. Someone has thought to make a sign, perhaps as a guide, or perhaps as a warning. The way to the right is not marked for Dumpus. The left turn points to Aliana, a name you remember from what the man in Cristanti told you. Either way seems the better trod. You'll have to choose. Try Aliana. The path winds between trees that get greener and more lush. You must be close to the river here, although you cannot hear the water. After about half an hour's walk through dappled shade, you come across a well-built hut. Flowers decorate its walls, and the door has been painted with ornate designs. The path ends here. Go around it. You perform a swift circuit around the hut, but find nothing unusual or concerning. It seems to be what it is, a hut, set by itself deep in the forest. But for someone to survive out here on their own, surrounded by the beasts of the jungle, it must be someone quite powerful. Knock on the door. You approach the door and knock. There is no reply. Open the door. You push open the door and stride inside. The hut is neatly laid out. You detect the touch of fastidious woman. Weird. The chairs are set around a table as if for guests. The mattress lies in one corner. A large kitchen area indicates that whoever lives here, they are fond of cooking. Call out. Hello? Is there anyone there? You're surprised, the voice answers quickly. Who's there? Who's that? Locate the speaker. Look into a corner, hidden by a large cupboard, and you see a cage in which a young woman is imprisoned. Good stranger, she pleads. Let me out of this cage, I beg you. What happened to you? You move over to the cage, quite shocked. Visiting level 10 on Helldivers? Hell yeah. I think the last unlock is level 25, so you're definitely getting there. But yeah, you'll have a few new things to get. Congratulations. Oh, good stranger, she wails. I've been locked up in here for 2 days. It was Elvins that did it. Those mischievous, prankful Elvins. Please, you must help me. I have not eaten, and they have left me here. Where I can see all my cooking things, but I cannot reach them. I'll help you. Go over to the cage, you try the door. It is locked, of course. Use magic. I can use a dop. You should be grateful I waste my strength on you, declare, as you roll up your sleeves. That's a little rude. Stop. You cast the spell over the lock and begins to shiver. Like a small beetle, it hums and clicks as the tumblers return and work. Then finally it snaps open and drops to the floor. The woman claps her hands in delight, and with the door open, she rushes out and throws her arms around you before backing off a pace and trying to regain her composure. Stranger, she declares, I am in your debt. Aliana will reward you. Will you take an aid in combat or mastery of magic? I need no reward beyond a kiss. Jeez, dude. Magic sounds interesting. Magic. Very well. She rushes over to a wall and opens a panel you had not seen before and takes out a small box, which she places in your hands with a smile. No tricks, she says with a smile. All these things will aid you, if you know how they are meant to be used. Open the box. It contains a vial of glue, a pair of strange-looking nose plugs, and a bunch of spell materials. That's very cool. Lady has been freed. It seems like there is nothing much more to keep you here and from your quest. I don't want to overstay my welcome. Will you share my food with me? She nods vigorously, and the two of you settle down at the table. It is a mockery of a family feast, as you carefully divide a quantity of your cheese and bread, trying not to lose any morsels into the cracks of the wood. She eats ravenously, as do you. Then finally you stand. I must be on my way, you tell her. I have many more miles to cover today. She nods, of course. Please, before you go. And she holds you something. Ooh, small. I'll take it. I need the money. You bow your head and accept the gift. There are 7 gold pieces inside. And one more thing, she says. Moving around the table, she leans up to you and pecks you on the cheek, whispering, I am Aliana the Witch, and I have killed a good many men with my sorcery. But I choose not to kill you today. Go in peace. Then she steps back, and her face is as soft and peaceful as it ever was. Did you imagine her words? Almost certainly not. Time, then, to leave. You step quickly outside. You retrace your steps to the last junction where you turn to take the path to Zumpus. Well, that went about as well as it could have. You walk for several hours, following the twists and turns of the path through the trees. Then, suddenly, you stop. You hear a noise up ahead. Something is moving around between the rocks at the edge of the path. Wait and look. You hang back, watching the trees. There's definitely something moving around, something large and long, with a tail that whips between the trees. But now that you've seen it, you're at a definite advantage. Attempt to creep around. Darn. The beast is off the path to the right, so if you creep through the tree line on the left, you may escape unnoticed. Try this tactic, moving slowly and carefully, making as little noise as possible, placing your feet with delicate care. After a few more yards, you're about to rejoin the path when the movement of the animal stops. It must have heard you, or caught your scent. And sure enough, a moment later, it is upon you. A flurry of foliage and dirt, a rat bear leaps from the undergrowth. It is much closer than you thought. Its sleek black fur allows it to hide in the shadows until it is almost upon you. Fight. Okay. Bring your sword up to bear. Get it? It's a rat bear. Defend? Yeah, this is probably a good move. The rat bear is startled by your approach, but drops quickly to all fours. You drop quickly behind a tree and raise your sword, ready to defend yourself. At the last moment, the rat bear leaps, all claws off the ground and ready to plunge onto your body. You brace yourself as it comes down. It rears back, claws raised. Try 6. Oh, okay. Oh, it rears back. Okay, as in it readies itself. Risk an attack, rushing forward, you charge at the rat bear, but it has read your intention and drops into a crouch. Afraid of you, it stumbles back, tail whipped in high defense. High in defense. Little jab. Sideswipe stepping, you slash out at the rat bear, but it knocks you aside with a paw. It grunts as it pushes you away. Defend? Yeah, that was probably a good move. You can almost smell the creature growing enraged, and duck quickly behind a tree. Squeaking with rage, the rat bear charges forward, but you keep yourself guarded. For a moment, it is close enough for you to smell its sewer breath. It edges back, paws raised. Sounds like it's defending again. Sideswipe, yeah, there you go. You test the creature. Fainting left, you slice at the rat bear, but it has guessed your move and raises its claws to protect itself. To battle! I imagine that is the sound you're making. Defend? It didn't say anything this time, so I'm gonna play it safe. Warily, you move into a defensive crouch. The rat bear sniffs around you. Oh boy. The rat bear charges and leaps. You are only saved by quick thinking. You defend yourself as best you can. Rears back, tail whipped high in defense. As the creature quick as a flash, you slash at the rat bear, but it bats you back into the mud with its tail. You scratch the creature's hide. Stumbles back, claws raised. Okay, I think I... Nope. Okay, this time I'm definitely defending. Yeah, here we go. I might need to retry this one. You remain hidden. The rat bear makes a nasty swipe with its claws, but you duck and escape injury. You silently thank your master, who trains you so well in swordplay. It edges back, tail whipped in high defense. Jab again. You test the creature. Okay. Light plays through the trees, and for a movement, the true extent of the rat bear's injuries are revealed. And there we go. Oof. Okay, splashing through the mud, you race into the rat bear. Then your sword slips between the creature's ribs and drives deep into its putrid heart. The rat bear squeals and falls onto the ground, face down in the mud. 5 I feel like I could do better. I hope it's not annoying that I'm retrying the combat. I would like to survive with as much stamina as possible, and it gives me the option. So, yeah, let's start by defending. There we go. That bear is startled. Okay, it rears back, claws raised. Okay, it rears back, so let's jab with point 2. Pulls back, tail whips in defense. Let's jab again. Fainting left, you slice at the rat bear, but it knocks you aside with the paw. Grunts as it pushes you away. Let's go all in. There you go. Rushing forward, you charge the rat bear, catching it as it rears up. You plunge your sword deep into its thick skin. Light plays through the trees, and for a moment the true extent of the rat bear's injuries are revealed. I'm gonna defend. I'm gonna cut with a 6. Oh no. Okay. You risk an attack. Splashing through the mud, you race into the rat bear, but it has guessed your move and raises its claws to protect itself. The rat bear screeches in an inhuman howl, and you take heart. It has almost fallen. I'm defending. There we go. Okay. Woo. Decent dueling. Alright, I'll take it. With the dead beast on the path, you are free to move onwards. Alright. The old path winds a few more times around gigantic trees, thousands of years old, and it emerges onto a sudden plain as if the forest had been scooped away by a giant hand. The river trickles thinly between short grasses, and by its banks stands a tiny village. Enter the village. I have a good amount of gold. Today has been a short day with a few dangers. With a decent meal and a night's sleep, your next day will start auspiciously. Begin the gentle climb down onto the village. You follow the path down into the village, passing a sign which declares it to be Dumpus. The streets are thin and narrow, and its buildings have been set close together, as if trying to withstand a storm. There's a terrible smell hanging in the air. All in all, it seems to be an unpleasant place. Explore the town. Halfway along the track, you come across a couple of merchants' huts. You browse for items worth buying with your 15 gold pieces. Your attention is taken by a finely woven skull cap, a finely crafted sword, and a small bag of provisions. What are the provisions? You examine the bag of food. So for 3 days, 6 gold pieces. The merchant says, with a smile. Good for a traveler, I'm sure. Yes, I think that's good. Examine the sword. 6 gold pieces. A long sword. So it might have a higher attack. Or a longer range. But that's most of my money. I don't know. What does the skull cap do? Let me check. There was something that used the skull cap. There you go, tell. To activate the spell, the caster must wear a cloth skull cap. The user may then read the mind of an intelligent creature nearby, learning its weakness, contents of nearby rooms, and other such details. That is very useful. I feel like that's more useful than a sword. Put it back. Examine the skull cap. Stolen from a piece of Dadule, the merchant declares with pride, a fine piece of work. 4 gold pieces. You can tell from a feel of the cloth it has no inherent magic, but it might be useful in spells. Right on. Place it on your head but feel nothing. Take it off again. I'll pay for it. That's enough. Alright, so now I have another spell I can use. Is there any work to be had? The merchant sizes you up. You look like a good worker to me. One of my friends needs some digging doing. I'm sure he would pay you and feed you for it. Sounds like hard work. You don't get paid for free. The merchant replies, carefully wrapping away his merchandise as he talks, as if expecting you to steal something. He stares at you. So? He looks over his shoulder at the path. I'm going that way myself. You coming? Follow the merchant. He leads you to a house on the edge of the village and introduces you to the householder, a stout man who is probably incapable of lifting a spade, let alone digging with it. What is it you need doing? Cesspit, the man replies. Out back. Needs digging. I'll get started. Face out back, he replies, with a jerk of his thumb. You walk through the man's house into the back garden. The smell is terrible. The job is not just to dig a new cesspit, but to dig over the old one. And it's going to be several hours work that will probably take the whole night. You collect a spade stuck into the ground by the hole. Start digging. Begin digging a new hole and tipping the earth into the old hole. A new hole and tipping the earth into the old hole. The ground is hard and the smell from the pit is enough to make you gag. After you had been working for an hour or so, the owner of the house brings you out something to eat and pays you 3 gold pieces for your effort. Don't eat. It's hard to stomach the food with the smell in your hands and in the yard, but you're so hungry from the work that you wolf down the bread and soup you provided. Then it's back to work again for the remainder of the night. You're just finishing the work when the sun comes up. I got some gold back. I got most of the money I've spent on the skull cap. You rise early, dismiss the attentions of the householder, and head out into the street. Within a few minutes of walking, you're out of Dumpus and back onto the road. After another hour or so, the way branches with one path heading up onto the hills. Another turning downhill and along one side of a barren, stony ridge. Is that a village you can make out on the top of the hill? It seems like a lonely place for it. Uristani. Bridge of Vankas. Where did this go? I feel like I should go this way. You follow a meandering path along the side of the hill for most of the morning. It's difficult to see the way you ahead through the tree line, but you trust to the course, and eventually the path bursts onto a narrow stone ledge, high above the valley floor. The ledge leads left and right. There is no way forwards. Rest a moment and eat. Perching on the edge of the stone outcrop, you eat the old man's nourishing bamba fruit and feel a little better for it. Look left. Looking left, you can see that the narrow ledge is formed by a splitting of the rock that leads all the way down to the misty valley floor. If there is a path up the other side, it is not clear from here. Look right. Looking right, you are taken aback. As out of mist that fills the valley, an impossibly wide bridge looms into view, as if it had only now fallen into place. It is made of planks and thick ropes, and is suspended from the peak to the peak on the other side. Who could have built this marvel? How long ago? Look at the bridge. You take a moment here, staring at the bridge. It forms a delicate curve across the valley, swaying very slightly into the wandering wind. The more you look, the more it seems too perfect. Does such a bridge possibly exist, or is it mere illusion to trick the incautious traveler? Then it is time to move on. Getting to your feet once more, and take a moment to find your balance before moving on. One slip here, and you will fall a long way down. Let's try the bridge. I mean, worst case scenario, I can rewind. The bridge is not worth looking at least. If it is sound, you will be able to tell. If not, the other route will still be waiting. As the ledge winds and weaves its way around the cliff, you reach the peak where the bridge is deeply anchored by its enormous stone foot. Besides this is a small, disheveled hut. Look at the hut. A small little shack. It's barely large enough to house a goblin, but someone has decorated it in a weird fashion. The outlines of figures, tall and short and stocky, drawn in faded shades of wood, and some in red blood-colored clouds. Look at that. And from a few of the figures, actual bones protrude from the walls themselves, as if they form part of the structure. You should have known immediately, of course. A bridge like this out here smells of sorcery and witchcraft. Knock at the hut door. There's no answer. Stranger still, however hard you beat your fist, your knocking seems to make no noise, as if the wood were a cup of water and you're beating on your knuckles against its surface. Let's go across the bridge. No matter. The hut is old and disheveled, probably empty. Setting your foot upon the bridge, you begin to make your way steadily across. Oh boy. But you have only gone a few steps when you hear a voice calling from behind you. Halt, stranger. You turn to see an ugly hunchbacked creature who has sidled out of the hut door. If you wish to pass, 2 answers you must give to Vankas. Ignore him and keep walking. Who is Vankas? Why? I imagine he's Vankas. I'll give you your answers. The creature chuckles and asks his first question. A sister I have, which in captivity. She lives in the woods, so first tell me. Do you know of her, friend, of this cunning dame? And how is she known? Tell me, what is her name? Something starting with an A. Aliana. The hunchback smiles. Your answer is correct and true. Now you must answer question 2. Through villages 3 you now have passed. When was first, when was second, and what was last? I mean, might be cheating, but let's see. I would have gone Kantapani, and then Okay, this is the head hunter. So I went Krististani and Dumpus. Antipani, then Krististanti, finally Dumpus. The hunchback nods one more, deeply, and you breathe a deep sigh of relief. He gestures for you to proceed across the bridge, but calls out one last verse of advice. Beware the lair of the cave demon's maze. Stay to listen. You hover to listen to the rest of the verse. For traps as deadly as Medusa's gaze. Greet those with the most tiresome plight who turn down paths not to the right. Okay, so take, take right if I'm in the demon's labyrinth, I guess? He calls it a thank you, and Fangcast nods once more before returning to his hut. Quickly, fearing any more traps, you hurry across the rope bridge. You're rather grateful when your foot touches the grass on the other side. You follow the path over the crest of the hill and down into the next valley. It is now late afternoon. Okay. Game audio still seems fine. I may even turn it up a little bit. Some way down the hill, you stop for a rest and sit on a boulder to survey what lies ahead. The path leads downwards, and at its foot, cradled between three peaks, is a village, and quite a large one at that. Behind you, the sun is fading rapidly, or falling rapidly into the hills. It'll be night soon. Approach the village. The village looks like a good place to stop. You hop down from the boulder and make your way forward, when an overhanging branch touches your face and you hear a lively chirping. Turn around. You quickly turn around, hovering by your shoulder a small creature the size of a bird. It's childlike, but it's very thin, with green skin, and it flits around you on transparent wings. It seems friendly enough. It even lands on your shoulder, its tiny clawed toes pinching slightly. Talk to it. Greetings, little creature, and hello to you, the creature replies, chirping. My name is John. What are you? The creature does a backflip and gives a low bow. I'm an Amidamite. Pleased to meet you. It reaches out a tiny hand and shakes your earlobe. I'm not going anywhere until you're gone. What can you tell me about the village? What do you want with me? Here we go. See that village? The creature replies. Last time I got to go through, they told me I wasn't welcome, so I wouldn't mind some protection. The creature starts hopping up and down. Come on, it grumbles, impatiently. Let's get going, can't we? What can you tell me about the village? Point down the valley. Is it safe? That's Biratani, and it's very safe. It's the largest village in the whole of the Shamatanti hills. Every traveler who comes this way spends at least one night there. So it's a little bit expensive, especially for Minimites, but pleasant enough. I can protect you. The creature squeezes your shoulder gently, like having a spider trying to burrow into your skin. The creature flits to your other shoulder once more. You're not in a hurry, are you? You want to sleep out in the rough? Where I'm going is dangerous. You warn the creature, you might be killed traveling with me. The creature shrugs. I've got small wings. Can't get far on my own. Let's get going then. The creature shakes you by the ear in excitement, and you set off along the path once more. You descend into the bowl of the valley. The hills on either side are toweringly tall and throw the village into deep shadow. It would seem a very gloomy, threatening place, but from the streets comes the distant sound of laughter and merriment. If things go wrong, I can rewind to the point before I enter the village. Maybe there will be a way to hide the Minimite? You continue along the path. The sound of festivities grow louder. It's almost spooky here in the shade of the valley, and after so long on the dirt fire road, the people in this village seem to be enjoying themselves. See, said the Mennonite when he read shoulder remarks. I told you it was a happy place. I'm going to go on one more BRB, and then we should be able to go until the end of this part. So, be right back. Okay, we're back. Okay. John, what's going on? John shakes his head. No, if there was... Oh, are they bewitched? John shakes his head. No, if they were magic... if there was magic, believe me, I know. This is the festival of the young. What's that? Well, take a look. John waves a little hand around the village. The idea is that once a year, the children are allowed the freedom of the village. It is a time of great fun and a lot of pranks. It becomes quickly obvious what he means. You pass the first few buildings, where you find a number of children sitting in the street and drinking ale from deep mugs. Further on, a young boy is holding an old woman over his knee and spanking her. On the other side of the street, a group of boys is fighting outside a hut with a sign that reads Landragor's Tavern. It is a complete mayhem. I feel like rescuing the old woman is gonna cause issues. I'm gonna leave her. I don't like it. Consider helping the woman, but there's nothing you can do. It is their festival, after all. I don't know if that was the good move, but we'll see. I feel like I should get out of here as quickly as possible. You pass beyond the tavern and turn to a corner to find a group of girls standing by a signpost pointing to the crystal waterfall, tripping up their elders as they pass and giggling. Ask them about the waterfall. You stop by the group and ask them about the waterfall, but they are too distracted by Jan, whom they delight in poking, tickling, and generally cooing over. After a few minutes of asking them about the waterfall, you give up and walk away. One of the girls calls, "Come back." Another shouts, "The water is good for you." Jan sighs, already missing the attention, but comes back to rest on your shoulders. You give the girls to their snickering. You can try the waterfall. You go back past the girls and head up to a path that climbs through the crack in the mountainside. Soon the air is filled by a thundering. It's quite a climb, but eventually you turn a corner through a narrow cleft in the rock and catch your first glimpse of the tall natural waterfall plunging down from the cliffs overhead. Large crystal stalactites hang down either side of the water. There is only one path to reach it, winding up the rock face, and it passes by a small hut where a ruffian is collecting money. That's Jan just got ahead. You tap Jan on the shoulder. Why don't you skip ahead? Find out if the waterfall is worth the money. Jan nods vigorously. Alright, but I'll be quick. Don't think you can get rid of me just like that. I can catch up. Greet the ruffian. Make your way over to the hut. Greetings, you begin. You collect a fee for the waters? I do, sneezes the ruffian. These waters cannot be so healing that he has not caught an awful flu from them. 3 gold pieces. There's a buzzing on your shoulder as Jan whispers and resettles himself. Doesn't look like much to me. I think you'd be wasting your gold if you paid. Haggle. 3 gold pieces for a bath? That's too much. The waters are healing, the ruffian explains quickly. They'll do more than make you clean. Haggle. I'll give you 2. The ruffian considers you for a moment. He seems to be won over by your manner. Alright, 2 gold pieces, but don't tell anyone I did. You hand over your coins, the ruffian pockets them quickly, scanning the path either side to make sure he hasn't been seen. I mean, I got a discount. Can't be that bad. Oh. You head up the waterfall, which cascades forcefully into a deep pool. You strip off your clothes and dive into the pool while Jan flitters through the froth. The cool water is fresh and invigorating, and you feel yourself getting rapidly better. You feel a huge swell of confidence. Coming here is the best decision you have made. Now you can move on, refreshed and ready for the night. Well, I guess it was fine. I feel like sleeping at the inn is going to make me prone to getting my stuff taken from me. The idea of going back to the village now is unappealing. You're refreshed and calm, and the scenery here is beautiful and peaceful. Getting out of the pool, you dry off, collect your things, and head into the trees to find a spot to rest. Between curling roots, you find a small place to settle down to rest. Jan perches a little way above on a knot and is quickly asleep. You're tired enough to fall asleep. I don't think I need to eat something right now. I might as well, actually. You pull out some of your provisions and eat quickly. The night's darkness draws in around you. In the distance, you hear screams and whoops from the village that only slowly fade. You feel lonely, distanced from such revelry. You rest your head onto your backpack and close your eyes. Perhaps a few hours pass when you wake suddenly, aware of a shadow moving between the tree trunks. It turns as it sniffs the air. A wolfhound. Throw something at the beast? Let me check my spells. I have pebbles, right? A potent little spell, but one which calls for great mental concentration. The spell must be cast on small pebbles, which will then explode when thrown. The explosion produces great force as well as a loud bang. I think that's the one I want. Cast a spell. They can scare it away. Wait a minute. Why is it not listed? 4 pebbles. Yeah, I have it. We pop, but maybe I can throw something at the creature. Good size, solid and weighty. Throw it into the trees beyond? Oh no! You throw the stone off into the distance behind the beast. For a moment, it turns its head, but clearly your smell is too strong. The creature rushes towards you. Okay, well. The beast roars and howls. Okay. Yeah, there we go. The wolfhound creeps towards you, jaws dripping and fur shining wet. You raise your sword to defend yourself, fearing that the monster will spring. Bounds forwards. You're shaken but unharmed. That was most of its strength. So like a 5? Oh, okay. It howls and whimpers, so I should have known. You twist your blade around for a manic blow. The wolfhound drops back. It scrapes at the ground as if digging its own grave. Okay, both defending, so we're both kind of reset. Is it? You risk a cut, but the wolfhound turns tail. It is tensing, preparing to pounce. Okay, defend. The wolfhound charges for your blood. You react on instinct, dodging around a tree for cover. You cannot hide forever. And scrapes at the earth. Okay, let's jab. I mean, I feel bad. It's not really putting up much of a fight. Not wanting to leave yourself open, you try for a gentle stinging strike. Wolfhound runs quickly into the trees, but it has not gone for good. A moment later, it creeps back into view. Okay, let's go for 5. Yeah, there we go. You bring your sword out about for a manic attack. The blade cuts deep. As the wolfhound weakly opens its jaws to bite, you plunge your blade between its teeth, all the way down to its heart. The wolfhound howls, a gurgling, blood-soaked sound, and then it dies. Jesus, okay. The beast defeated, you pause to gain your breath and wipe the sword. Sleep. Once satisfied, you lay down again and try to sleep. Jan flutters down and resettles on your shoulder. As you sleep, a strange, hunched-over figure shambles through your thoughts, speaking in riddles and offering dread advice. His warning rings in your ears. Greet those with the most tiresome plight. And then turn right. The rest of the night passes silently. You rise early from your spot beneath the tree. As you gather your things, Jan leaps up and onto your shoulder. Ready to go? He chirps. You pass through the village, which is now as quiet as the grave, and rejoin the path on the far side of Baratanti. The sun sits on the horizon like a gleaming jewel. If all goes well, you will reach Turapani today, the last village of the I keep messing it up. Shamutanti Hills. After a short climb, the path breaks, heading uphill to the left and downhill to the right. Ask Jan for his advice. Which way, Jan? The right is a forest. To the left, the going is easier. The path heads through a field of black flowers to Torapani. He was wrong about the waterfall, though, so I don't know. He also said that the villagers didn't like him, but then they were playing with him. I don't know if I can trust him. Or maybe I do the opposite of what he says. What else do you know? Nothing, protested the creature. That's a fine way to talk to your guide. I'm not charging you for my advice, you know. You get no more from the creature. Torapani is so close. It hardly matters which way you go, surely. I'm going right. And be on your guard, Jan warns you. You climb a rise. The way is not too steep, and as noon approaches, you have crested the ridge and are descending it again. You are at the highest point of the hills, where the trees are thin, the view west goes on forever, and sometimes you catch a glimpse of Kare on the northern horizon. Keep going. You decide not to stop and eat, but push on. Jan is a talkative mood, and fills the air around with his chatter. about what he can see and how things smell, what he plans to do once he makes his fortune in Kare. You pass from the open hillside into a patch of deep forest. Quite suddenly, Jen falls quiet and hisses in your ear. Stop. Stop now. Why? Because, insists the creature in a tiny voice. Because something is following us. You come to a dead stop. Jan is right. Something is... Whoop. There you go. Something is moving through the trees behind you. A moment later, a point of steel has emerged from the darkness between two trees and touches your neck. You've seen me, whispers a voice. I know it. Answer. I see nothing, you call back. You are quite safe. It is not I who is not safe, returns the voice. Ask who is there. Okay. There's no reply, but the tall figure of an assassin emerges from the trees. He is dressed head to toe in black, and you had not seen him in a moment before, even though he had been standing a mere arm's length away. He wields a scimitar in expert hands. What can I cast? Fix? I can't cast that. Nothing? Walk? Requires 1 stamina and a gold piece. Sure. You cast the spell and it drains energy from you, but nothing happens. Strange. That's not good. Fight him. Oh. Okay. Yasin bows to you, raises his sword, curved sword in salute, ready to stance. You measure the weight of your sword and bring it up to deliver a cleaving blow. The assassin covers himself. He is left breathless, but otherwise unharmed. Closing his eyes, he murmurs a quick prayer as he sets his stance. Defend. There we go. You drop yourself into a crouch as he powers forward, but it only tires him out. You are mostly unharmed. The assassin laughs appreciatively. My duty is to sever your head from your neck, he declares, in a voice as cold as polished marble. You will not hold me from it. Sideswipe. Oh! The next moment, he is on you in a flash. With your blade close, you are ready to parry. His own blow is measured, but enough to knock you reeling. Sinla, forgive you, he declares as he swings. The impact of his swing catches you in the kidneys. As he pulls the blade clear, he lifts you from the floor and kicks you in the stomach. The assassin spins his sword about to shift his sword across his body. Defend. There we go. I'm gonna have to retry this one. You lift up your defenses, his light blow sails over your head, moving with the deadly speed of an attacking serpent. You're mostly unharmed. He nods to you wisely. Okay, defend. You hold firm to keep up your defense, as he hangs back and watches with you without emotion. Yasin swivels his grip. The weapon sings as it moves, plunging. There we go. Time to attack. You rush forward with a deep, heavy slash. But the blow you land is only minor, because the assassin has adjusted his stance swiftly. You knock the assassin staggering into a tree. He seems more surprised than hurt. Breathing deeply, he whispers a mantra as he readies his blade. Yeah, I was not going to be able to beat that. You ready yourself to block, as he attempts a strong stroke. You parry as best you can. He raises one hand to draw a finger in a line across his throat. You will die out here, the assassin tells you, his tone like ice. There we go. Acting quickly, you swing your sword fast, in towards his chest, outclassing his own sword swing. Blood drips from the assassin's tunic, and he curses under his breath. The assassin flicks his blade through the air, crouching as he moves, defending. I may have been able to overpower that. Yeah, I think I'm going to retry this. You duck down into low stance. His attack whizzes past you on the left side. You're mostly unhurt. The assassin raises his sword above his head, crouching as he moves. That feels like a strong attack, but we're gonna... Okay. Oof. Leaping into action, you swing a masterful swipe, but his own move is fast and careful, and he's able to parry. The assassin's breath is coming in short gasps. He closes his eyes for a moment to steady himself. I can guarantee you a simple death, the assassin says. His eyes are merciless, precise swiping. Oh, he beat me! Then he is diving forward for your throat. Your own stroke is overpowered. His own strike is of medium depth, but more than enough to draw your blood. You are weakening. This fight is becoming serious. The assassin turns his sword about, crouching as he moves. I'm defending. Yeah. Oh, Mallory! Mallory Lamb, thank you for the raid. How was your stream? You were playing Half-Life 2 Episode 1 today, correct? Let me go ahead and give you a shout-out. Mallory Lamb. There we go. How are you guys doing? We're currently playing Sorcery, fighting an assassin, and mostly losing. If you guys are not already following Mallory, you definitely should. Also, if you don't know me, I am Toxan Memoria. I play video game. I'm also part of Shingatai. And, yeah, that's everything. It is a you. Hello, Mallory. I hope your adventures with gravity guns and crowbars went well. I don't know if you have either of those at this point, but we'll see. Hopefully. But yes, we're currently in combat. It's not going super well. I'll probably need to reattempt it. Crashing as he moves. So let's just go in. Let's go goofy. Oh, I win. But it is shameful. Fainting left, you slash violently across his chest. He is off balance and moving slowly. The blade goes deep. He turns and tumbles, releasing his sword as he topples. I am not so proud as not to admit when I am beaten, he groans. You may finish me if you so choose, but if you do me an honor and use my own blade. I feel like I should retry the combat. I don't like having only 6 health. Try again. Bring your sword up to bear. Oh, we're both defending. Okay. Let's put it at like a 7. Oh! Ouch! Yikes! This is immediately going not as well. Oops. Also, let me scroll up. Hello, Aussie Bug. And also, hello, Tuttle. Hope you are all doing well. Defend? Yeah, I'm gonna have to reattempt again. That's embarrassing. The guy out here, he tells you his tone like ice. Defend. Defend, yep. Defend, oh, okay. Defend one more time? Uh-oh. Okay, we're going all in. Probably a good move. Okay, now he's beaten. 7 stamina loss, shame. Okay, yeah, we're trying. Trying again. Okay, defend. Okay, how about like full in? He can't beat me there. Oh, he defends. You rush forward with a deep, heavy slash, but the blows you land is only minor. The assassin has adjusted his stance swiftly. I did 2 damage though. That's interesting. Oh my god. Good thing I defended. Oh, I guess he attacked with like a .1 or something. They defend. Yep. Defend again. Bust. There you go. Defend. Oh, I could beat it. Okay. Cut. There we go. Now he is beat. I'll take that. Rough going. I think that's about as good as I'm gonna get with that encounter. Okay, the assassin is not dead, but lies on the floor, gasping. Spare him. Then get up, you tell him, holding your sword back, but not putting it away yet. He nods, and sheathes his own blade. You're an honorable man. I'm glad to meet you. Now you have saved me. You own me in part. My name is Flanker, and I'm an assassin and a thief. Why did you attack me? This is a simple matter. I pick on wayfarers for practice in hiding and in killing. I assumed you would be no match, especially when I saw your pet. He points briefly to Minimite. Oh, to the Minimite, who is currently hiding under a fold in your tunic. But I see I was wrong. He bows his head once, perhaps in respect, perhaps from the pain of his injuries. You're traveling to Kare? He asks. Yes. I go that way as well. I won't travel with you, but once you are there, perhaps I will see you. If so, I will not forget the debt I owe you. What is your business? I don't think he's going to tell me. He looks long into your eyes for a moment, then answers. The nobles of the city have heard rumors. Goblins are reopening the old mines. They want to know why. And have you found out? I believe so, he replies in a whisper. It's not jewels or iron that they are after. You know the history of the hills, perhaps. They have not always been so poor, so underpopulated. Once, great and powerful men lived here, men of great knowledge and sorcery. Long gone now. Blanker shakes his head. Not gone. Changed. There's a village of giants in these hills. That is what those men became. The ancient miners once ran a great city spanning from Kakaba to sea as far as north as Jaker Mines. That was when they mined the ore that forged the crown. And it and it is that metal, that power, which the goblins are searching for. If Mampang should rise, it will be their only hope. Oh. Spooky. Will they find it? Blanket breathes heavily and painfully. Perhaps. But they say that ancients left terrible guardians behind. He bows his head again. This time, it is definitely from pain. Go, he hisses. You cannot aid me. I help him. I have caused your wounds. I will help you. He grins with gritted teeth. Are you a doctor? I do not think you are. Bind his wounds. Tearing strips of dark fabric from his clothing, you bind his wounds tightly, and the bleeding lessens. You are too kind to a man who was about to kill you, he murmurs. Let that be your lesson, you reply, as you gather up your things and head out to the forest. Leaving him behind. You have a sense that you have made a powerful friend. Finally out of the forest. How much longer do you think we'll be traveling today? The Minimite on your shoulder asks. I'm hungry and tired. We've gone such a long way. What? I don't know what time of day it is. Not much further. The Minimite sighs and slumps under your shoulder. You continue along the path and around the side of the hill. A wooden hut is set into the slope, with an old woman sitting on the front step. A river seems to emerge from beneath her. As you get closer, you realize the water flows underneath her house. The house itself is set on splayed struts like an insect straddling the watercourse. A few paces from the front of her house, the water plunges over the edge of a sheer cliff and disappears. Greet the woman. Greetings, you call. The woman looks up at you and smiles. Come over here, won't you? She calls. I can barely see you. That feels suspicious. I I can rewind. Let's approach her. Approach the old woman. She smiles a toothless smile and gets up from the step. Come in, please, she beckons. I get so lonely living out here on my own and away from the village. I feel like I'm gonna regret this. Go inside. Okay. Thank you. You follow her inside and take a seat by a long wooden table. I'll bring us some tea, she says. She sounds almost nervous. Hurrying to her kitchen, she returns with 2 cups. Watch it, Jan whispers in your ear. I don't trust this one. Me neither. Make conversation. The tea is still hot. Your cup is between your hands as you speak. This is a beautiful place, you remark, watching the river outside the door plunging away over the cliff face. This is the top of the crystal waterfall, she says. The river runs right under my house. They say it carries all my goodness and youth away while I sleep, and the villagers bathe in it for good luck. She giggles meanly. I'm sure it isn't quite true. Why do you live alone? It must be dangerous. Oh, she smiles sweetly. No one bothers about me. Why would they? You can't help but notice she has not answered the question. What's your name? They call me Gaza Moon, she replies with a smile. I used to be quite well known in my way. You nod, but you have never heard of her. You make to sip your tea when the old woman stops you, catching your arm before the cup reaches your lips. Oh, she says suddenly, I've forgotten the pot. She goes back to the kitchen to fetch it. Switch cups with her? Oh, no. While she's away from the table, you switch the cups around. Then, when she returns, you lift the one closest to you and drink. A sudden deep pain grips your stomach and you double over. She poisoned both cups. You wince and cough as you find yourself seizing up. Suspicious stranger, laughs the woman. I can count on travelers suspecting my witchcraft. Please release me. You try to shout out, but you are paralyzed and quite powerless. The old woman begins to search your bag. Jan flits about in some distress, unsure what to do. Then, with a coo of delight, she pulls out the spell book page you were given by the old man of the tree. My book! She cries, the missing page. Why didn't you tell me you had my missing spell? She scurries off into the kitchen and returns with a cup of liquid, which she pours into your half-open mouth while clucking and stroking your head. It's an antidote, and you feel your body slowly unfreeze. Finally, she slaps you to bring you abound. Who is the old man? A rogue and a bandit, she replies, spitting. 4 days ago, I was visited by a traveler such as yourself. When I was away making my tea, as I always do, he started leafing through my book and tore out a page. He must have been a wizard of power, because he vanished almost too fast for me to curse him. What curse did you cast? Well, you saw him, she replies. I aged him. Didn't stop him escaping, though. Oh, that's what he meant. Okay. She fuzzes the page, preparing her spellbook with some gentle magic. Shall I show you how useful this spell is? She says. Please. My pleasure. Oh no! Jan begins to squeal and screech and make some awful noises about what wonderful friends you are. It doesn't stop the old lady from casting the spell. The Mennonite vanishes. You feel a flow of magic back through your body. You hadn't realized it was gone. With the Mennonite around, your spells may have been weakened. Now you're strong once more. Oh. Where is he? The old woman shakes her head. Oh no. But with any luck... Oh, is he dead? Oh no, but with any luck, you won't see him again. You nod at that and leave her hut. That explains why the spell didn't work. Okay. That's not good. It is now late afternoon. You pass over the brow of the village next hill, and below you is the village of Torapani, flung from one side of the valley to the next like a flood barrier. Observe it? Torapani is a village of the Savin, an aggressive-looking race of man-orcs. You might expect their village to be rowdy, but it seems strangely quiet. The town. Still, there's no way around it. You will have to go through. You enter the village. There's a definite air of depression hanging over the place. The Svins are going about their business, slowly and miserably, and pay you no heed. You sit yourself down on a tree stump in the very center of the village to consider your options. Make contact with the villagers first. You spy a group of Svins sitting outside a low hut. You walk over and sit yourself down. They're discussing a friend, apparently killed in the night by an assassin's curved blade. Is that why you're all afraid? We afraid of no thing, retorts one of the Svin furiously. But no, much worse. Another Svin brings his hand down on the table. But with Esh dead, who saved Tia? Who's Tia? Our flower, the Svin who answers wipes a tear away from the corner of his eye, scratching himself painfully with an uncut fingernail. Tia is Chief's daughter, the other Svin says. Esh was to save her, now Esh is not alive, so Tia soon not alive. I'll save her. You, replies the Svin, you are thin and weak, not even green. Trouble is, another says, our village die if Chief line end. Tia is end, so if end ends, we end. All very sad. Very sad, they all agree. Who you? One suddenly asks. If only just thinking of it, he prods you in the chest. The sorcerer. Sorcerer? A sudden gleam enters the biggest one's eyes. Great sorcerer? I do my best. Best is good. Mickey. Tifa. He signals to the others, who are quickly on their feet, big hefty arms swinging for you. We take to Chief. Before you resist, they have you and are hauling you bodily onto their shoulders. Pray to my... I don't think I need to pray to my spirit. Wait to see what happens. You hold your tongue and wait to see where they are taking you. Past the village. Several Svins watch from doorways and windows, their faces silent and somber. A few murmur blessings, or maybe curses as you pass. Then you reach a low hut on the end of the village, where set down carefully. Captured. The door is slammed and locked. A moment later it reopens, and your possessions are thrown inside. Eat something. Pulling your knapsack, you pull a ration of your food and eat it. Nothing else happens. Wait to see what happens. Pull your knees up to your chest and wait. The long watches of the night pass slowly, and in the end, nothing happens and no one comes. Daybreak. You are still alone. An hour passes before you hear any noise outside, and then the door of the hut opens and 5 Svins come in. They drag you roughly out and across the street to another hut, where an old man with gray hair sits. He's wearing outlandish, colorful robes. My name, Prosius, Chief. He slaps his chest twice. I apologize. Then he bows, brushing the dust on the floor with his sleeves. Apology accepted. The chief nods. He waves to a menial who brings in bread and milk. I'll eat it. Gratefully, you bolt down the meal. It does not seem to be poisoned, and it nourishes you. The bowl is removed, and the chief squats down in the pool of cloth. I have need of you and your strength. Tell me. Chief nods. I shall. My daughter, my child, she is taken. Offered to a terrible demon below. She deserves it? Why would you say that? You want me to rescue her? The chief nods. Succeed, and you may choose your reward. Fail, and... He shrugs. I'll do it. The chief nods. I hope you will. He gestures to the other Svins, who, still taking no chances, grab you by your arms and haul you to your feet. You are led along a short pathway through the forest to a crack in the ground. One Svin has brought a rope and another a basket. They're preparing to lower you into the pit of the earth itself. Let's pray. Pray for healing. Yay! Your spirit has heard you. You will receive no further help for some time. You are on your own. Okay. I said I was going to do one more, but I mean, we're basically right at Kare, so let's go on a quick break. Okay. We are back. So let us enter. Take the adventure. You wait until they are ready, then step into the basket. The chief nods to you with respect. Watch the darkness, he declares, as they start to lower you down. You hit the floor with a thud and peer into the darkness. Your eyes can make out nothing, but a slight breeze suggests endless space in all directions. You are blind, helpless, and trapped. Something clatters to your feet from above. One of the Zvens shouts something down to you. Feel around on the ground. Ah. You crouch down and feel around your feet until your hand closes on the base of something. Pick it up. It is drywood torch. Something else falls down from above. Oh, falls from above and strikes you on the head. Tinderbox, calls the voice. Curse whoever hit you. No, feel around for the tinderbox. Rubbing the bruise on your head, you reach around and find the tinderbox. Light the torch. You strike a light and the torch blazes into flame. This might be the maze that they were talking about. I'm not sure. Alright. Whoops. You can now see you are in a large cavern, wide and deep. At the far end, passageways disappear to the left and right. Through an uneven rockfall at the far end of the cavern, you hear a murmur. Listen by the rocks? You clamber over the rocks at the edge of the cavern to investigate the sound. It is whimpering coming from the other side of the pile of stones. Ben girl, perhaps? She came in this way, but then the cave-in blocked off her path. You have to find another way to reach you. If I understand from earlier, I should be going right. You turn right, creeping slowly forward. The passageway slopes down a short way, then ends at a T-junction. Two stones are stacked on top of another against the wall here. Examine the stones. There's nothing special about the two stones, except that they happen to be on top of one another. Go right again. The tunnel twists and bends sharply, as if curved by the river now long since dried away. Lose all sense of which way is which, except to keep going forward where the tunnel splits. Alright. You move through the opening in the right wall. The going is suddenly more difficult, and you realize that the tunnel is climbing at a quite sharp gradient. Little stones rattle and roll away downwards into the dark. At the highest point, the passage you are following finishes at another fork. As you enter, two stones roll away down the slope. And I keep going right. The cave walls crush in close, as though the rock is squeezing you to death. Your shoulders rub against the walls. When you feel certain you can go no further, the path you are creeping through forks again. Another pair of stones are stacked in one corner. Go right. Oh, I did it. You follow the passageway when you hear an echo of whimpering coming up the corridor. Your torchlight falls across this frail shape. Hiding in the shadows is the young Svin girl, stacking stones into hundreds of little... Oh, that was her. Hundreds of little towers. Look for traps. Uh-oh. You run the torchlight around the walls of the cavern. No switches or triggers that you can see. The girl watches you with silent fear, and then the torchlight falls on a deep scratch in the wall, a claw mark. Suddenly there's a loud roaring from the mouth of the short cavern. The walls begin to shake and crumble. The Svin's stone towers topple and scatter. To one side, a gap in the rubble begins to open, letting through a mean shaft of light. But before you can head for it, the roaring sound is joined by a screaming from the Svin girl. Turn slowly and peer into the gloom back along the tunnel. There's something moving? Something coming closer? Perhaps the roaring is the wind rushing through the tunnels. That's not spooky. Oh! You hear the scrabbling sound of claws on a rock, and the exit from the tunnel is blocked by a dark and looming shape, a manticore. Huge, terrible. It stands between you and the light, and howls in bloody rage. Can I use magic? You ready a spell. Cast a spell. Can I cast Jig? No Jig? Really? Fog? That's not gonna help. Off for force field might help. What's P? Tap. Cause strength. I don't have fire water. The thumb? Cause clumsiness. Sure. You complete your enchantment, and the manticore seems to stagger and trip, one foot colliding with the other, and its sting becomes tangled with its wings. You have slowed it down. If you draw your sword now, you'll have an advantage, or you've gained yourself more time for further sorcery. Now, can I cast Jig? No, but there's other spells available. Okay, who? Oh, mud. I don't have sand. Okay. Yob. Someone's... Ooh, I do have a giant's tooth. And then what is Yap? I think that requires a wig, right? Talk with animals? Yeah. Maybe I'll Yob. Yob. You drop a giant's tooth onto the floor and quickly cast your spell. A cloud of smoke gathers around the tooth as it clears. A large giant stands in its place. head stooped by the cavern roof. He is armed with a spiked club and sets about the manticore with loud crashing blows. Stay back. You stay back, desperate to avoid the deadly flinging tail. The fight is titanic, with the giant's incredible strength and the manticore slow and slumbering under the effects of your spell. For a moment you think this is the end. The giant lands a colossal blow, but then, with 2 accurate flicks of its sting, the manticore catches the giant, first in the side, and then in the head. The manticore catches... Your champion falls, and hits the rock floor with an enormous crash. A moment later, he is nothing but a puff of smoke. The manticore roars, making the walls of the chamber shake. But listening closely, you can hear a note of fear in its too human voice. It is still a beast of ferocious strength, but you've weakened it. You have to make this next and final spell matter, or take it to task with your sword. Okay. Zap. Summoning all of your concentration, you weave the spell, creating a lightning bolt that bristles in your palm until you fling it towards the creature. Strikes the manticore full in the face, its mane catching the light. Crackles of energy streak along its back to the tail, which turns black and explodes in a fountain of mucus and shell. Fingirl shields her head as you do so, but nothing can protect your ears from the dying screams of the cave demon. It's shouting loud enough to bring the walls down, cursing in a guttural human tongue. Finish it. You step forward and plunge your sword into its heart. The only noise in the chamber is the hammering of your heart and the quiet breathing of the Fingirl. Thank you, the Fingirl murmurs. Then, tugging on at your arm, this way. She leads you towards the light through a gap in the rocks to the pool of sunlight in the first cavern. Oh, that went pretty well. Alright. Wave the torch, hoping to attract attention. Tell the girl to call up. The girl called to your father. The child nods, mutely, then bawls at the top of her lungs. Proteus, I'm here. And something drops down. A rope with a basket at the end. Get in together, the chief calls from above. We'll pull you both up. Send the girl up first. The Zvins give a great cry and begin to pull, and the basket appears to slowly rise, spinning as it goes. The girl waves to you as she disappears into the sunlight. Then she is gone. I was worried that the basket can't carry us both. I mean, it's a basket. A minute passes. Nothing. Another minute. Still nothing. No sign of sound or movement from above. The tunnel echoes very slightly. A noise from the depths. Perhaps the manticore was not alone. Wait a little longer? Settling down on your pack. You can imagine the celebration going on above ground. The tears and grateful reunion. No surprise if they lose track of you down here in the dark. And then, sure enough, the basket on the rope, and the rope tumble down. You clamber quickly in, and they haul you up. Above ground, the chief himself helps you onto the grass. His daughter is with him, clutching his hand. My daughter tells you you fight bravely, he says. For that I am grateful. I invite you with us, back to Arpani. Will you come? Yeah, probably. I'd like some rest. A little generosity cannot hurt you. You nod, I will come. As you enter the village, it erupts in celebration. You are given a place to stay and recuperate from your long journey. A visit to the healing priest treats your wounds, and when you emerge, it is to find the village before so somber and silent, now in full life. Flowers are tied to every rooftop, and bands of Svens are playing music on long, strangely shaped lyres. You're whisked away into the dance by Proteus' daughter, where the chief can welcome you to the feast. The night is glorious. That night you sleep heavily, and rise the next morning to continue your journey. The chief meets you before you go. My good friend, he declares, you have saved us. He presses 2 gifts into your hands, a pouch of 10 gold pieces, a fortune for a place like this, and a key. This opened the south gate of City Kare. Oh, the south city gate of Kare, he tells you. I hope it is of use. That is useful. You take your leave. The path winds away from Torpani, and soon you are on a downward slope, away from the Shamantanti hills through stepped rice fields. Through stepped rice fields. As you walk, you feel for the first time the loneliness of the path ahead. Though Kare is a busy city, it is cool, and beyond Kare there is nothing but Fish's wasteland. You will have no one to trust in the days ahead. For a brief moment, up on the hill above the path, you fancy you see a figure stealing its way along by some high and secret route. A figure all in black, but when you shade your eyes against the sun, whatever was there has disappeared. In the distance, the wall of a great city, the first true stonework you have seen since you left home. Dukare. Alright. Oh, the cheering. That's cool. Your journey through Shamantanti Hills is completed. Along the way, you have gained the friendship of Flanker the Assassin. Oh, hello, Prowler. I think we just finished part 1. How are you doing? Along the way, you have gained the friendship of Flanker the Assassin, and have been given the key to the gates of Kare. You have collected an impressive number of magical artifacts. A large lump of beeswax, a cloth skullcap, a vial of blue, nose plugs, 4 pebbles, 4 goblin's teeth, and a bamboo pipe. You are still armed only with your original sword, and have 2 rations and 16 gold pieces and a spellbook. Adventure continues in Sorcery 2. Kare, City Port of Traps. Out now. Let's save. Zabijo. Let me, put that on a notepad. Yeah. Cloud save. Hell. Xemijo. There we go. Then made a grilled cheese with cheese I've never had, and it was pretty good. What cheese? Oh. The crown of kings has been stolen by the Archmage and taken across the backlands to Mampang. You have been sent to get it back. Should you fail, the whole of Kakabad will surely fall. Journey began. From the outhouse settlement of Anlan, you crossed the Shamantanti Hills. Along the way, you narrowly escaped being eaten by cannibals, spared the life of a defeated assassin, and fought and killed the dreaded Manticore. You faced cruel twists of fate and deadly traps. A test of character. To survive, you used your blade rarely and your intelligence frequently. You deceived, charmed, and tricked your way through. Your spirit guide changed as you changed, becoming the ape. But now, all of that seems a distant memory, for you're approaching Kare, the city of traps. Raclette. I'd heard it was good. Did not disappoint. I don't think I've had it before. Founded on a ford of the Dabaji River, Kare was once a camp for the pirates who ambushed merchants, sailing from Lake Lumble to the sea. The camp grew and became a village. The village became a town, and now Kare is a magnet for ne'er-do-wells and thieves, ruled over by a council of villains. Let the city do its worst. It is a place of treachery and traps. You'll have to be constantly on your guard as you cross. Your goal is the North Gate, which is the only entrance to the Backlands, the next stage of your journey. If your quest is to succeed, you must enter the City Port of Traps. Make it out alive. Ingo presents Steve Jackson's SORCERY Part 2. Kare, City Port of Traps. I fucking love this game. It's so cool. That's great. Yeah, I knew that would summon Rat. Twilight already. The great city of Kare has loomed large on the horizon all day, but has been slow to reach, the path tracing great loops back and forth through the deep and narrow pass. Walk on. You've not seen a living soul except once, when a dark figure raced across the hilltops overhead and then was lost from view. You summoned a rat. So you're naturally cautious when you round a bend on the path and see a beggar crouched low and against a rock, muttering to himself. You stop, out of sight behind an outcrop, but the beggar does not look like much of a threat. Approach him. You call a greeting and stride over, and the man... Oh, thank you for the water, Redeem. And the man leaps to his feet, drawing a short stick from inside his cloak. Who goes there, he demands. What's your business in Kare? I'm a traveler. The man pokes his stick at you. A traveler? Traveling where? The Backlands. The Backlands? He looks quite surprised. And what is in the Backlands? He prods harder. Answer me, or you'll face the consequences. Who are you? You're certainly very brave. Excuse me. The man beams with aging pride. I'm the city guard. No one enters Kare except through me. And then, despite his age and clearly ill health, he comes at you, waving his stick. I won't fight you. You are unarmed. He waves his stick close to your face, jabbing a few times, but you push the point aside with one hand. All right, then, he declares. We'll settle this fairly. He tosses the stick to one side and raises his fist. The knuckles are blackened with scabs. I still won't fight you. I mean it. The beggar makes a short barang noise, like a laugh, and lamps you on the nose. It's surprisingly painful, and he is ready for another swing. I step away. You step back, and with that, the fight seems to drain from him. He sits down again, suddenly sad. Very well. You're right, I suppose. I can't defend the city on my own. You'll get yourself killed. Oh no, he replies. That's exactly what won't happen. If that was my fate, it would have happened a long time ago. He shivers. You don't have any food, do you? Sure. You rummage in your pack and pull out a hunk of bread and cheese. Here. The man grabs it and eats gleefully like a wild dog. He murmurs and grumbles to himself as he does so. Farewell. He tips his head at the pass. Get on with you. The path winds through gorse and thick grass. Kare squats in a basin in the hill like a stagnant, festering pool. You turn one corner, then another, and then the stone walls of the city are looming over you. Before the entrance is a wide open area that will take a few minutes to cross. You could scramble up the slope to the right to get a better view of the wall. You scramble up the slope for a better view of the wall. It is formed of staggering man-sized stone blocks, held together with gallons and gallons of mud and loam dredged from the base of the river. It curves away in both directions, unbroken except for the gate. Then you see something that stops you in your tracks. There is a guard posted on the battlement above the gate, watching the clearing. Look into the yard. You look beyond the wall into the south gate yard. It seems to be empty. A perfect moment to break in then. I don't think I need to run for it. There's nothing else for it. You put up a hand to call out. The archer lifts a hand to shield his eyes against the sun. Who goes there, he bellows. Friend or foe? Friend? Oh, is that so? The archer shouts back. Then what's the watchword? The guard sees your hesitation at the question, cocks an arrow, and waits to see what you do. Can I... You slip the skull cap that you brought in that you bought in Dumpus, and cast the spell, reaching out to the guard with your mind. It takes a great deal of concentration over such a distance, but luckily his thoughts are loud and shouty. Cantapani, I'll shoot him if he doesn't give me the watchword. You remove the skull cap. Talking to people will provide clues to help your quest. You can review your clues on the inventory screen. The guard takes careful sight with his next arrow, and waits. Cantabani. The guard considers this for a moment, then lowers his bow. Approach. You found one new clue. The south gate stands before you. It is as tall as 2 men, and would be broad enough to ride 3 horses through, if only it were open. But instead it is locked, and there's no other way into the city. Luckily, of course, you have a key. You quickly remove Sven's chief key from your pack and slip it into the lock. The tumblers click, and as the key turns. Wait. Wait a moment, heart pounding in your chest. Has anyone heard you? You hear nothing through the door. Wait and listen a little longer. Here we go. Keep waiting, then you hear them. Voices in the yard. One strides over to the gate and checks it. You hear his voice. The gate's unlocked. A moment later, the gate is thrown open, and you are staring into the face of a guard. He is rigid with surprise. Then 2 more arrive, and they act. Strong, expert hands grab your wrists. You are dragged, pulled, and forced into a low stone building just by the gate. Oops. Oh, the prison. The door of the stone building is slammed, and the lock turns behind. Okay, well. You look around. The walls are stone, and the windows are barred. A bench against one wall is the only piece of furniture where an old man sits. He's dressed in dirty robes and seems in a sorry state. You step towards the shadowy bench. Greetings, old man. He ignores you. He's concentrating hard on something on the ground just in front of him. A collection of small stones, scattered as though for fortune-telling. After a moment, he gathers them up and tosses them again. You notice that his other hand is missing completely. The left sleeve of his tunic hangs limp by his side. Look at the stones. Oh, okay. You step over to peer at his stones, but he snatches them up quickly into his palm. If you want to play, he says defensively, then you have to bet. Play what? Why, the man replies, with a shark-like grin. Swindlestones, of course. Swindlestones. You ask, intrigued. Stranger in town? Don't you know how to play? Better and better. He shows you one of his stones. It is a strange 4-sided die. Sit. He passed the bench beside him with one hand. Play. We can talk while I beat you. You'll have to teach me the rules. My lucky day. He grins with one remaining tooth. It's easy. We each roll 1 die in secret. But we bet on what we've rolled in total. You call if you think the other player has bid too high. The loser gives away a die. Go over to the bench, intrigued. The old man drops 4 dice into your palm and sweeps away a patch of dust on the bench for you to play. I'll go first, he says, waving his hand. Show you how it's done. The game is simple. We roll and bet on what's come up. For instance, I might start and bet that between us we've rolled at least 2 ones. I don't have any ones on my side, but there's a 4-sided die, so maybe. Okay, but we don't know what's on the table, so I'm guessing. Bid 2 twos. If you believe my bid is too high, you call, and we check. Otherwise, we keep bidding higher and higher. Bid 4 twos. And now I think you have bid too high, so let us see who wins. Reveal my dice. Only 3 twos. He wins that round. Two twos and a 3. Two threes. Doomed? Should do. Lived here 20 years now. 3 twos is probably pretty likely. 4 twos. The North Gate? No, why ever would you go to the North Gate? No one ever goes there. I'm going to call that. That's my business, not yours. Only 4 twos. The round is yours. I'll start with 1 3. I don't have any 3s, but that's pretty reasonable. I'll say 2 1s. Here's a bid. 2 3s. I'm going to say 3 twos. Oh, does he not have any 2s? Reveal dice. Yes, I do. The round is mine. Nice. This is fun. I like this. A 1 2. Well now, a name's a powerful thing. That's why I asked. Oof. Think you can just walk across town and up to out the other side, do you? Oh, I see. Okay. Are you saying I can't? That's the funniest thing I've heard all day. Calling that. Oh, yes. Nice. Don't you want to get out of here? Not just play dice? Have you seen the room prices in Kare? No, I suppose you haven't. 2 3s. Well, I don't have any 3s, so there's no way. There we go. I win, don't I? The old man nods, gathering up the dice. I win easy on you, of course. Rematch? Sure. How about a wager this time? 2 gold pieces. Sure. Ooh, okay. What did they get you for? Oh, did the head pats not work? There they are. Thank you for the head pats. I'm a petty thief. I'm a murderer. I'm gonna say I'm a petty thief. Nothing petty about thieving unless you're bad at it. I'm gonna say 3 4s. Everyone makes mistakes. Mine was lifting from red eye. Real dice. Oof. He didn't have any 4s. Okay. That's a pretty tough hand. So what do you tell me? What do they serve for food here? What happened to your arm? There you go. It wasn't the guards, if that's what you're worrying about. He's saying 2 ones. I have at least one. I'm gonna say 3 ones. Glad to hear it. No way. I used to be a traveler, then I met this ogre in the Shonker mines. Mines are dangerous places. Only 3 ones. The round is yours. It's better here than where I spent last night. 1 3. 2 3s. Where was that? You don't know the half of it. I spent last night in the sewers. He might have. Okay, I'm gonna say 4 ones. Whoops. He's gonna call that. Moving around, not getting caught until I get caught, that is. Oh, the old man wins the round. Yeah, I don't think I could have won that. You would have called whatever I said. So tell me, what do they serve for food in here? I'll be like raw rat. Oh no. Um, is there any other answer? No. 1 4. I mean, I do have 1 4, so I'm gonna say 2 4s. You did? Mm. Oh, I don't really have a choice. The round is yours. All right. A 5. Sorry, a 4 and a 3. Let's see. 1 1. I mean, I'll say 1 3. I'll raise that. 2 3s. Call that. Oh, he had 1. All right. I should have waited 1 more round. Roll dice again. What do you know about the north gate of the city? It's no ordinary lock. It's wizard lock. It's a spell. Calling that, I'm probably going to lose. The old man wins the game. Okay, I lost some money. It's a wizard lock with a spell, and only the first noble knows it. 2 1s. Oh, okay. That's the game, the old man said with a gleaming smile, and you lost. The old man pockets his dice once more and stretches back, cheerful at his victory. I thought you were a bit slow. You hand over 2 gold pieces. I can do 1 more. Am I going easy on you? Another wager? Take the bet. See if I can get my money back at least. I know I wasn't always in such a sad state. I used to be a hero. Okay, 2 2s and 2 4s. Okay. 3 2s. Really? As part of Glandragger's The Heroes Group. Glandragger the Heroes Group. Me, Vic, Glandragger, and Blanca. You're quite the adventurers. 4 2s. Ancient history now. Does he not have any 2s? Ah, I've been bamboozled. I'm not as good at this. Let's begin at Where do I find the first noble? Search me. He doesn't often get locked up. Tell me what you know. And he's gone into hiding in the council. 3/4. I'm calling that. Yes, alright. Only 2/4. The round is yours. 2 2s? Yeah, I can say that. How about 3 2s? Well then, 4 2s. I think you're wrong. Alright. Doesn't look like I'm getting any more information out of him. What's a red eye? You mentioned them. You're better off not knowing. Does he not have a 4? Oh, he doesn't. A 3 and a 4. The thing about Vic and Glandergor was they were never really friends, more colleagues. Did they fall out over something in particular? Vic was always in it for the money. Glandergor loved the adventure. Together, that's quite the team. But apart, Vic's an important man in Karai now, and Glandergor, who knows? 2 4s? I feel like he probably does. Maybe I can get this back. I think he's dead. I don't think Vic actually killed him, but it's hard to be sure. Oh, only 2 4s. But I couldn't call him on that. Oh my god, he had the same hand as me. I don't know if... How do I win that one? A 1. Okay, let's see if we can trick him then. I think there's a 3. I'll raise that. 4. 2 1s. Oh, but he doesn't have a 1. I think he had a 4 though. Yeah. Oh, wait, I got... Oh god, this is dicey. So we open on 1 4. I need to call it. It's 50-50. The old man wins the game. I couldn't... No matter what I said, he was going to call it. Thanks for the game. Pleasure was mine, the old man says, putting his dice back into his pocket. He leans against the stonework and hums quietly to himself. You have found 3 new clues. That was worth it. I may have lost money, but I got a lot of information. Talk to the man. Is there more? Oh. Tell me how I can escape this place. Oh, it's simple enough, he replies. In a day or two, the guards will let you out. Unless they've decided you're not an enemy. It just takes a while to consult one of the mages. If I don't want to wait? The old man shrugs. Then you cast a spell on and get that door open. You are a sorcerer, aren't you? I hope you haven't I hope I haven't got locked up with a normal. You stand up from the bench once more. I feel like being on the good side of the guards might be good. I'm gonna wait. I'm in no hurry, you declare. You settle down to wait. Hours pass, but the guards do not return. Night falls, and you stretch out on the floor to rest. At least staying here will spare you the cost of an inn. You've already eaten today, so you're quite comfortable. Soon, you are feeling sleepy across the room. The old man is already dozing, or pretending to doze, wrapped in his rags. Can you afford to sleep? What if he attacks you overnight? Or what if the guards come? I'll trust him. Okay. You shake away your fears. If something happens, you will simply have to wake up. But for now, you put your head down and try to rest. Dream. You dream when they come. Your dreams when they come are of the wall like a towering monster, drenched in moss and slime. The gate is wide open maw. Meanwhile, the one-armed prisoner throws the knuckles of his missing hand onto the bench over and over, calling endlessly to himself. It is as though you can see the crown sitting in the dust on the far side of the north gate, so close and yet out of reach. The next morning. Come sunrise, you feel better for the night under shelter. As you wake, you hear a sound at the door, the guards. You must be satisfied that you are no threat, and they open the door to shove you and the old man out into the morning sunshine. Great. And now I'm not in trouble with anybody. I won't miss you, the old man declares as he strides away. You watch him walk off and are reminded of your suspicions as to his honesty. Check your pack. Your chest turns to certainty, and you check your pack. It's hard to be sure exactly, but searching through, your pebbles seem to have gone missing. You shout to the old man to slow down, but he is some way ahead now and has reached another junction and turned right. There are worse things to take from me, that's fine. The pebbles were mostly going to be, for that one spell that just creates a loud noise, and I'm in a city right now, I don't know if that's going to be that helpful. I was hoping you use it against, like, animals to scare them away. Don't think that's going to really, do much here. At the end of the yard, the road splits. Looking left, you see the guard lined up in rows, running drills. Best not to head that way. To the right, the road leads towards the first buildings of Kare. So this chapter happens entirely within one city. Eventually, you want to work your way all the way over here to the North Gate. And then you can move on to chapter 3. But, like, the entire chapter happens within this city. And you need to, like, find, essentially, the code word to open the door. And I think you actually have to find it too. If I were to, like, look it up, I'm sure I wouldn't be able to actually use the code word unless the character has learned it too. See, so yeah, I probably shouldn't go to the guards' quarters. Let's just go head into Kare. Follow the road from the yard along the bottom of a cliff edge. Look up at the cliff. Kare is built on a series of natural steps. In the past, the river flooded every autumn, drenching the land and keeping it fertile. But since the city was raised and the river dammed, the floods have stopped. Now the trees look thin and skeletal. The soil underfoot is like dust. Suddenly, something erupts from the tree line overhead and rolls down the slope just in front of you. It's a body. Keep back. You hang back, watching as the body, a black elf, by the look of it, bumps and batters its way down the slope to land in a rough heap. Check it. You go closer and check the corpse. It's pretty clearly dead, though whether it was dead before being thrown down the cliffside is impossible to tell. Search it. You waste no time, but hurry over and search the corpse's pockets. There's no gold to be had, but it does have a strange black mask strapped to the back of its head. Take the mask. Oh, the black face mask. And slip it into your pack. There's nothing more to be done. You are too late to help after all. You continue along the path. You pass an inn, closed up for the daytime before reaching the crossroads. I'm actually gonna rewind here and see if I can save the elf. Okay. Look at the cliff. Approach. Ah. Yeah, no luck. Okay. The black mask is used for... Gak. Casting this spell while wearing a black face mask create a terrible fear within another's mind. Brave creatures will suffer a cold sweat, while cowardly ones will be reduced to cowering jarely. Okay. You reach a junction where the three roads begin. These are the outskirts of Kare. Huts huddle like beggars on either side of the tracks leading uphill to the city port. Pause to look around. Must be clear to everyone around you that you are a stranger in these parts. The city's inhabitants, a multitude of malevolent creatures who would kill for the laces of your boots, turn to watch you as they pass. You are sport, a figure to be jostled and robbed, and one who will most likely fall prey to the strange, elaborate systems of traps laid across Kare by the early settlers to protect themselves from one another. Look at the paths. There are more people here than you've seen in a long time. You cast an eye across the faces to see if there are any, if any are Flanker, the assassin you met outside of Torapani. You see no sign of the old man from the prison. He has scuppered already. Left. Group of scruffy youngsters walking up the road with packs on their backs. Look ahead. Ahead is the main road into the center of Kare, a surface rutted from cartwheels. Further in the distance you see fields. This is the route taken by the supply wagons to the docks. Look right. To the right you catch a glimpse of the old man disappearing into a hut a little further back up the track. The business of this place is confusing, but you will have to simply strike out. The north gate awaits. Just at that moment, the cart rolls down the road from the right and careens around the corner to take the main track ahead. On its back are stacked several crates. One teeters for a moment, then falls near your feet, its lid cracking open. Then you being honest, Abe. Wait for the driver to stop. Wait for the driver to stop, but they do not see you. The cart rattles away up the road. You notice a purple liquid leaking from the side of the crate. Look in? Okay. Kneeling down in the mud, you prise open the crate with your fingers. Inside is a pile of smashed bottles. Thick purple liquid swells about, littered with shards of glass. There are perhaps 4 bottles still intact, but you recognize the smell. It is Blimberry, a potion with many healing properties. Take 4. You take all the bottles, wipe them down as best you can on the nearby grass, nearby, and put them in your pack. A lucky find indeed. You can also eat that. Nice. Where do I save? I feel like I need to stop because my voice is starting to give. Okay. I guess I'm gonna stop for now. If I need to, like, redo the beginning, I guess that's what we're gonna learn. Well, actually, we can see. So, let me go ahead and just close the game and see if it just starts back up where I was. Or if next time we play... Oh! That's nice. It's right where I left off. Except it's not. 1 second. Here we go. Yeah, okay. Next time we play, I'll just be able to launch the game. It'll be right back where I was. Awesome. Okay. But I'm gonna wrap up. I've done nothing but talk out loud for 3.5 hours, so my voice is a little, sore. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming. I had a lot of fun with this. It's very fun just, like, reading this. And I hope you guys enjoyed, basically, storybook session. Let me see. Thank you so much for the follow, Asiba. Enigmas was streaming earlier. Let me see if he's still on. He is not. And you enjoyed Toxan. Well, thank you. I'm glad. I'm gonna rate me. It's been a while since I've rated meat. Meat's cool. This will be another series I'm going to be doing for a while then, because this is very comfy and I like it. Now, it does require me to not have talked all day beforehand, but yeah, it's fun. So I'm going to go ahead and send out that raid. Be nice to meet. Cool. She's very fun, and currently apparently playing Near Replicant. So I will see you guys later. I'm hoping to stream some Xenosaga or maybe more Sorcery over the weekend. And I will see you guys later. Good night.